You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another, the new 2022 remake of our Final Fantasy 3/6 episode.
Man, you sound like all like keyed up about that.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Who says a remake's a bad thing?
it's a good fucking game.
Not
yeah,
me.
Free of the person that we don't have it listed on the episode list anymore, so it's better.
This is the Pixel Remaster.
There
there
you
you
go.
go.
TADPOG's Pixel Remaster Final Fantasy.
I'll tell you what. I'll encode this bit rate at 320. How about that?
Nice.
See if you notice the extra fidelity. You won't. I'm not gonna. First of all,
Yeah,
I'm not
in
gonna do
your
it.
car with your windows
Right.
down. Yeah. Wow, the audio quality on this is amazing.
Man, this sounds really good on my JVC boombox that I won on Double Dare in 1987.
If you listen to the show on that, please let us know.
Yeah, we have a few listeners that require the podcast in cassette tape form.
Yeah, it's a real pain in the ass.
You have to fucking make it, mail it out. It's
New Patreon tier.
Man, that
Yes.
would be a sweet Patreon tier.
would be.
Yeah.
Damn.
But with our record of like mailing shit out,
My record, just my record alone of me. If it's up to me, yeah, we won't.
which
do
it is.
I would
Of
be
course,
happy.
it's not
obviously it
good.
is. We're gonna
Yep.
put you in charge of that.
So how would we work that though? Would we like say, okay, you pick an episode and we'll put it on cassette?
Now they get every episode. And I'm
Every
sure-
episode on
Every
cassette.
episode,
Holy
mailed to them.
Lord.
mail to you. It's cassette tapes are probably, I don't know, let's just say $1 million a cassette
Yeah,
at this point.
probably.
Who knows?
if I break into my dad's garage, if you don't mind reused cassette tapes,
No,
I
I
can
think
use all
that-
my dad's gospel.
Yeah,
No.
that adds to the
Cassette tapes.
rustic charm.
Yeah,
No, screw the full size cassette tape thing. We go with the mini cassette recorder like the cops use, you know.
Oh, okay.
Lay it on the table and record the podcast that way, and then send that to the lucky donor, the one that wants to get it.
Oh, luck has nothing to do with it. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
the
a
amount of money.
choice.
If you're lucky enough to have a good enough job to pay us a lot of money each month, we'll definitely do that. But Tyler is in charge of mailing them,
Yeah,
so
you
Could-
roll those dice,
Could be
my
throwing-
friend.
could be
your
throwing those
mileage
dollars
may vary.
I don't know why, but man, I do not like going to the post office. I guess because
I know why it sucks.
I
Because
guess
it
I don't
sucks.
exactly know what to do.
You can
And I
ask
know
the
I'm going to have
person.
yeah. There's always a weird, huge line.
Yeah, all you
Well,
have to
what-
do,
Like I can,
first and
I can go in to
foremost,
pick up a package, no line. If I need to go to the counter, fucking line is out the door.
First and foremost, just give me the money and I will take care of it.
I know.
Secondly, I print all that shit at home and then I just walk it into the post office and hand it to them and leave.
Oh.
So,
Not me, man. I get to the counter and I'm like, I have a thing. And I'm like, this needs to go to a place. And they're like, well, here's your option. It's like, that sounds like the easiest one. Let's do that. And then they like get a box and they're like, boop, 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 and tape it up. And they're like, that'll be $5,000. I'm like, here you go. I don't have to worry about this anymore though, right? And they're like, that's right. I'm like, perfect.
Sweet.
I'm going to go get a cheeseburger.
You want insurance? Yeah. Hell yeah.
of course, I
Well,
want
come on.
insurance.
What do I look like, a rube? I'm like, that's insured up to $100 anyway, right? And they're like, I don't know.
Maybe. Good luck claiming it if your package gets lost.
Louis DeJoy's
don't
trying
have
to
your-
kill us. We don't know.
What? You don't have your receipt? Oh well.
What my response usually is like street value. they don't like that one.
Then they have to unwrap it.
Surprise! It's just photographs of my penis.
But now
And
you've
I'm
seen them,
leaving.
right?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go home and jerk off to this encounter. This is my kink. Thank
Fact,
you,
I
post
don't
office.
even have to send
Tricky-
anything.
yeah,
Tricking the post office. That's a good everyone is John goal.
I'm texting Nikki on my way home. Fucking get ready right now. Get ready right now. They fucking fell for it again. Get ready.
Get your the post office overall.
Postal, yeah.
Your-
I'll do
your
like those
postal worker.
shorts. She looked good in those shorts. I'm not gonna lie. I'm going to get some of those.
But speaking of the Pixel remaster, though, Dave, you bought that for me for my birthday, so now I'm gonna play it for this episode.
Yeah, man. It wasn't on your wish list, so I was like, I went in like, I'm gonna get Tyler the Pixel remaster for Final Fantasy VI because I think he'd really like it, because I really like it, and I've been like really impressed with like the way it sounds. Like they redid the music, and like,
I've heard lots of saxophones so far.
God, the music's so good. The music's so good. Like, I mean, it blew, like, hearing the battle music for the first time was like, oh yeah, yes, I'm ready to play through this entire game with this like remastered soundtrack. You know, they don't change the songs. It's still the songs that we all know and love, but it sounds really good. So it's like, I got to get Tyler this for his birthday for sure. And then I'm like, so I got on his Steam and I'm like, oh, well, he does want Shredder's Revenge. It is on his wish list, and that is a really good game. So I'm gonna go get that. And I was like, fuck it. I'm still gonna get him the Pixel remaster.
It's the summer
really
sale.
It's actually not. I think.
Oh, is it not? Shit.
The thought crossed my mind. I was like, I should have bought all this shit last week. But it was like, well, fuck it. I'm already doing this. I know he likes Final Fantasy IV. Fucking Final Fantasy IV Pixel remaster. Throw that in there.
Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you, because I got the email at work and I was like, 3 games. What does Mike want me to do? Michael Grimm. Oh no, it's from Dave.
Yeah, man. If they're all good, I presume they're all good games. I haven't played the Final Fantasy IV remaster, but I mean, it's like, even if they do the music in the same way they did 6, it's totally worth it. Totally worth it. And then Shredder's Revenge is awesome. Yeah. So.
No, but thank you.
You
I
gotta have
already
that one.
started playing through. So
Nice.
So 3 and 6 are the same. Is that what?
Yeah, 3.
I don't know all this stuff. I've heard a little bit about it, but are we going to get into that later?
I guess with
fuck it. We can get into
ask
that
Sean
shit now.
Miller next time we game, he'll tell you.
It came out.
I'd like to get home before 2 in the morning.
Oh, he gets real
teasing.
mad. He gets real mad about it.
Super upset. It's the same game. It's just called 3 in North America and 6
okay.
in Japan.
Gotcha.
Because they got some games that we didn't get. Their Final Fantasy 2 is different than our Final Fantasy 2, and then we didn't even get their Final Fantasy 3 until like years later.
Okay.
One,
Same
skip
with
a few. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
But I played 3 for the Super Nintendo. That's the right one, right?
That is the correct one.
Okay.
That is the correct one. Wait, how'd you get that? You got 3 on the Super Nintendo? How'd you get that?
But see, I think I played through 3 on the GBA or the DS. I think I played through 3 on the DS.
They did a GBA remake, which apparently has like a new dungeon, I guess, like the
I remember doing something.
Realm
at
of
the end.
Dragons or something like that.
Which it was good. I couldn't tell you any detail. Nothing about it was super memorable except like the jobs.
Yeah.
Other than that, I remember you're just the warriors of light versus the warriors of darkness.
Oh, are you? I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the Final Fantasy VI GBA
No, I mean
release.
actual 3.
Okay.
Literal 3.
Gotcha. I've never played 3.
Remember, I wanted to play all at one point I had a goal of, I'm going to play through all the Final Fantasies. So I remember I did the
Of
Dawn of
course.
Souls 1 and 2, 3 on the DS.
You played through 2.
Yeah, that's the worst one.
You finished 2.
2 is I finished it. It is hands down. But it was the Dawn of Souls remake,
but still, I'm super impressed because I
rough.
started that one and I was like, man, I love an RPG where you level up skills. I love it. I think it's fucking awesome because it feels like you're always leveling something up. I love it. I quit playing that game an hour in.
It's
because I mean,
unlocked monk. That's cool. Oh, my fist skill is 0. Well, I'm gonna spend 6 hours punching things.
which I mean, I'm even okay with that. But like, what I'm not okay with is the whole like, it's not very apparent in Final Fantasy II how you level some things up, and it's like also to circumvent the grind, you do ridiculous things that make absolutely no sense, and it's like. I got to be honest, man. I just like seeing numbers go up. And that's not like a real like admirable thing to say, I guess, but it's the fucking truth.
Well, I got a ruler tattooed on my dick.
I got that from Ultima.
Ultima, and it's like the amount of satisfaction that I got from playing Ultima Online, where
Getting
it's
a
like
0.1% raise.
set up a macro, program that shit,
Yeah,
like, and then watching it
so
run, and if it
satisfying.
doesn't work, troubleshooting that macro, and then like that is super satisfying. And once you get it like flowing,
Then you feel like you've really accomplished something. That mining macro was the king of macros.
where it would move the
from
boat for
Oh,
you. Yeah,
oh.
yep.
Got that some bitch perfected.
Yeah.
And I was so fucking proud of myself.
I love that. I love that shit. But like, I don't know, man. When I'm playing Final Fantasy 2 and it's like, I gotta start hitting my own teammates for like, and then healing them, and then just keep doing that for a really long time. Can I like automate this?
I don't
No.
want to do that until Final Fantasy Tactics.
And even in Tactics, it's different because it's a little deeper with like positioning and stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That sounded dirty, but like, I don't know. With Tactics, it's a little different, and also more fun. It's just also more fun. Tactics is more fun.
Yep.
For sure.
Well, I remember like in 2 getting like Ultima, but Ultima's level 0 when you get it. So if you want to be
You
really
have to
good,
level it up.
yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, I'm gonna finish this, but man, I do not like this. So I did that. Was done 3. I'd already done 4. I beat 5. 5 was okay.
I like 5.
I think I just like the whole X death thing. I didn't dig, but like the characters were fine.
The story in 5 is definitely not
Yeah.
the strong point.
I like,
it's
the,
got
I
a
like
weaker.
the Ultra bosses and Gilgamesh and
Yeah.
and all that was in
Oh,
it.
Gilgamesh is fantastic. Yeah, but I mean, it's got weaker story than 4 and 6 for sure.
Yeah.
Like the other 2. But it's weird seeing like the connective tissue in 5 because it's like there are a lot of things that they kind of like are still doing from 4 and will do in 6. So it's kind of, and that one didn't come out here until much, much later. So playing that having played 4, way after having played 4 and 6, it's this is weird.
I played a fan translation in like 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
So
I like job systems though.
yeah, no, I do too. And then I had played the shit out of 6, played the shit out of 7, and then I stopped at 8. So I've got 8 and 9 on Steam.
9's really good.
I want to play through both of those.
9 is
Of course,
really
I played 10. I played 11. Played the intro to 12.
12.
Did not care for it.
12 is really good, in my opinion.
I've heard that everywhere, but like the
No,
first
I don't know.
30 minutes, I felt like it was just, I'm brown sand everywhere. I do not know where I'm going. I'm frustrated. I'm not turning it off.
Oh, like I was on this one.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
That was the brown. That was kind of like the brown and gray era of video gaming too, where it's just like.
We're edgy.
Yeah.
So muted.
But I think I don't
The only
know.
thing with color is my blood as it spills out on the screen.
I like 12 a lot. It scratched that Ultima Online macro itch.
Did it?
Yeah, because you program your party members. You set up logic for it, where it's like, if someone gets under 20%, you heal. Otherwise, you're doing this. So you set up parameters, and it's like, kind of like baby's first programming said from a guy who doesn't program. So
Right.
I don't know, but
You have a lot of if-then statements built into your logic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get it.
And I think that's really neat. But I do think that one of the drawbacks of that system is they kind of limit the number of parameters that you can have.
Sure.
You unlock those. And it's like, man, it'd be really awesome if I could have more than 2 if-then statements.
Right,
Like just give it to me all from the beginning. That
Sure.
seems like a really weird thing.
You got to
to
earn not playing this
gate.
game.
Yeah. So, but I like 12. And I think, I don't know, man. You need to travel in the circles that I travel in if you want to hate on 12, because I feel like I hear a lot of hate on 12.
Because you and McElwain both spoke very highly. McElwain loved the shit out of 12.
Yeah, 12. I think 12's really good.
So I beat 13. I thought 13 was okay. I
quit.
I understand why it had the reviews that it did and why it went the way that it did. I feel like it set up a story, and then they realized, if we want to tell this story, we've got to gimp a lot of shit we normally do. So, and then I have yet to play
Well, they also
14 or 15.
with 13, Square was adamant where it's like we're building our own engine. We don't know how to use Unreal, and we're not going to learn. We're going to build our own engine. So what happened was they spent all their time and resources building a custom engine, and then they were like, we have to make a game now. Make it quick. I have an idea. Let's just make it a tunnel.
Every dungeon's a tunnel. Every one.
And that's the story of 13. That's what happened. That's why it is the way that it is, because they refuse to use an engine, a pre-made engine. So it's like, and then that's why there are so many 13 games, because when people are like, wait, why does Final Fantasy 13 have so many sequels? People didn't like it very much. Well, we built this engine, didn't we?
So did they ever go? Did they go back to that
makes a lot of
engine
sense.
for the other two games, 14 and 15, or did they go to Unreal for those?
They never
went to Unreal.
I don't know what engine they use. I assume they use the engine that they built, but they as far as I know, they never went to Unreal. So there's Final Fantasy 13. As far as I understand.
Well, no, that makes total sense.
But I didn't play. What I've heard is the sequels of 13 were better than 13 itself. So
I've got them both. Never touched them. But
Yeah.
I've got them both on my shelf.
I would like to play through all of them, just because I guess a similar reason as you were just like,
Just completionism.
just play all of these games, even the bad ones that I don't like.
Yep.
Just
I love it
nurture,
enough to complete my knowledge, but
just nurture that broken side of me where it's like, let's be miserable for 40 hours. Why?
just to
to
say-
do it.
to say we were miserable.
Yeah. So someone could be like, have you beaten all the Final Fantasy games? I could be like, yeah. And they could be like,
Ah, yes.
and they could be like, neat. And that's it.
Yeah. But what's a good Final Fantasy? 6.
I agree with that statement.
But I don't know if I don't think I've talked about it on the show. I think I've told you guys, but breaking my heart, unfortunately, dear friend of Piggy Palace fame, Casey, he's leaving our workplace. He got a fucking sweet ass.
He made it sound like
Offer.
he was dying at first. I'm glad that he's not dying.
No, he got an amazing offer to be executive chef at, basically do everything at his own restaurant. So he's doing that. He's opening it's been various things, but it's like a prime spot in our downtown. He's getting to design his own steakhouse type menu. He took me into the building the other day, which is fucking badass, the way they've redone it and put all this,
I'm excited to see it.
brass and dark wood, and it's fucking spectacular. It's gonna be amazing.
Cool. Well, good
So
for
please
him.
wish-
Congratulations.
Give Casey well wishes, and then in the fall we'll all go to his restaurant.
Let's do that. Yeah. Let's all go have dinner.
At a discount, right?
And I just of course, Casey, he wants to succeed, so he'll give us all free food.
Steep, right?
Well, we'll promote it on the podcast. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
Yeah.
we'll give you the bump.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll
yeah.
pay you in promotion.
Tell him Tadpog sent you, and you get kicked out of the restaurant.
Make sure you tell your server emphatically. Grab onto their clothing with both hands. Although our boss came in and we told him and he was like, "Oh, that sucks. Well, let me take you guys out to eat." He was like, "Where do you want to go?"
Casey's.
Casey's new restaurant.
Well, he did say from here once it opens, every time he comes into town, it's like, "Well, that's where we're going to eat." So every time I was like, "Hell yeah, okay, sounds good. I will eat on corporate time."
Yeah.
But he's like, "All right, Casey, where you want to eat?" He's like, "Yeah, I want to go to fucking Freight House. Let's go to Freight House. Let's go nuts at Freight House."
Oh, Lord.
So we went nuts at Freight House, and it was great.
So what is Freight House? Of course I know, and I've been and eat there all the time because I'm super rich. But like, what is Freight
I'm about to
House?
say, after I went and saw the prices,
For
like,
those who
"Oh, I'm
don't
not
know.
eating here unless someone else is paying for it."
Yeah.
I'd say it's probably the best restaurant in Paducah.
Yeah.
They're farm to table, seasonal. The executive chef was on. Was it on Top Chef or
One of those shows,
It was
Yeah.
top.
and she won one of
No.
those beard awards, right?
James Beard?
A beard one. She got a beard.
Beardy beard.
A beardy.
A Tyler's
They
beard is
call
what she got.
Was it Top Chef, like a ongoing competition,
was-
or was it like Chopped?
I feel like it was a long ongoing.
I think it may have been Top Chef then.
Yeah, she made it very, very far.
Yeah, she did. Like it was like third place
Yeah.
or something. It was pretty close.
So it's good. We went and got it's a sort of a modern Southern sort of menu. I went and had we split a tomato tart and the smoked bologna, which was fucking great.
Yeah.
With the spicy sweet mustard. Then of course I love beef tartare. They had it on the menu. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm eating beef tartare. And it had a hot sauce. I forget how he cooked it, like a gelatinized and hot sauce egg yolk on top. That was some of the best shit I've ever had.
Cool.
Oh my god. Then I had like the carp, and I had a drink called like the Domo Arigato Mr. Cacti, something weird. And it was supposed to be like tequila and prickly pear. And prickly pear. Okay, fuck yeah, I'm in. Anything prickly pear, I love it. And then the first time
pricklier the better.
the pricklier the better. But it was the first one I had that had been infused with smoke. Never had one of those smoked cocktails. It was gross. Don't do it. It tastes like you're drinking a campfire.
How do you do it?
Fuck that.
How does one infuse a cocktail with smoke?
Because they'll light some kind of wood and then basically set the glass over it and let it fill with smoke, and then they'll quickly turn it over, pour it in there, so the smoke then infuses all into all the liquor, and it's
I
was
think
gross.
that does sound pretty awful.
Does sound
It
gross.
was gross.
Yeah, it does
was
sound gross.
It's very trendy right now.
Yeah,
It's
it
fucking
definitely
gross.
sounds like it
Fucking
is.
gross.
Which, yeah, I don't know.
And it was all on the back end, so I take a sip up front, like, that tequila's pretty strong, it's pretty sweet, and then, whoa, there's campfire.
What if it was like a s'mores drink?
I wish I would have they had like a dark chocolate coconut marshmallow brownie. I almost got
Ooh,
it, but
yeah.
but instead I went and got the
yeah.
key lime panna cotta. That was amazing.
What is a panna cotta?
It's
Is it like terracotta,
it's pottery that you
but
eat.
made of pans? Like Pan's Labyrinth?
It's a creamy dessert, like consistency of sour cream
Okay.
and a little tart, but it was like
Like a mousse?
you could taste,
Like a
sort of like a
mousse.
mousse. So it had like super fresh wild blueberries in it. It wasn't graham cracker, but they had infused some kind
Kelsey
of like
Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer was in it, and then like I could taste like real grated lime. It was
Cool.
good,
Yeah, that does sound good.
but pretty good. I'll never go. Not
How
on,
much
not,
was
not
it?
on my let's see, the carp was $26. The
Just regular old moat carp?
just regular ass smoked carp. It was Kentucky carp, so it was local. So pretty much
picked
just
it
like,
up at the foot of the river, the bank of the river, just
and
floated.
it's
Hey,
in
there's
one
one.
guy walking to the Ohio, grabs it, brings it back.
Here is your nickel, sir.
My shitty smoked cocktail was like $12, 26 for the carp, 15 for the beef tartare, 11 for the tomato tart, 11 for the bologna, 12 for the panna cotta.
So $100+ lunch for Tyler.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh man, this was pretty damn good. I will never do it if I'm paying for it.
Not
That's
$100+
nuts.
dollars for lunch good?
No.
We went there with my dad.
We did dinner, but yeah.
Oh, it was dinner?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that does make a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, I still wouldn't go do that.
Not on my
if
dime.
if I'm paying.
My
But,
dad took us there, me and Tanya and Gage, Mandy Cohen, all of them. And my grandmother and his wife, all of us, my grandmother and my dad's wife. There was 7 people, and we all ate, and I didn't see the check, but I know it was significant.
Ooh.
It probably was pushing, $600-700 for that dinner.
Damn.
But I mean, whatever. He didn't care.
Yeah.
But they don't take reservations between like 6 and 7. So because I mentioned I would get us a table at 6 in case he was like, it's dumb, but they're not going to do it. I was like, why? He's like, yeah, because of the turnover when it's busy, they only take reservations at 5 and then reservations at 7, so they can turn over and not have a bunch of people waiting or whatnot. I was like,
But wouldn't you have
Okay.
more people waiting that way?
I don't know why they do it like that. So I called and I was like, can I get a reservation at 6? No, sir, we don't do that. You can have 5:30. It's like, oh, okay, well, 5:30, I guess it is.
5:59.
5:59. And then I text everybody and I was like, okay, it's 5:30. And one person was like, I can't do that. Not enough time to get ready.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean,
So I called and I was like, so I can't get one at 6. No, sir, we don't do that. Okay, well, I'm going to cancel my reservation. And according to Google, Wednesday is your slowest night. So I'm just going to show up at 6 and get a table. They're like, okay. So I showed up at 6, empty restaurant,
Got a
sat
table?
right away.
so weird, man.
It's like, okay, I'm glad.
Didn't have to be
Glad
this
you got your
complicated.
system.
Yeah, that is a weird system.
Yep. But what you guys been up to this
Hey
week?
man, I ain't making $25 a carp, so what do I know?
No, that's true.
I've been continuing down the anime rabbit hole. Now I'm watching, aside from Stranger Things, which I finished season 4. Now I've started watching pretty much anime all the time.
What'd you land on? I know you were considering a few different things after
Well, it's
Death Note.
It's funny. I was just kind of scrolling through Netflix.
Did you see the new Death Note? They're gonna do it as a series.
No, I did not. Is it going to be live action
Yep.
or? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, maybe they'll do it better than the movie.
Hope.
Yeah, not
hope
giving
so.
up on that old live action, huh?
No.
Nope.
Is this a Netflix joint?
It's not Netflix.
Okay,
I forget who's
there we
doing
go.
it, but I remember there was.
Is like a Japanese studio doing it?
I don't remember. I just remember seeing it. And I remember seeing everybody talk about it on Reddit, and
Yeah.
then I saw it on Facebook. I was like, okay, I guess it's a real thing.
Not being Netflix could make the difference. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know, they don't go past one season of anything. But, well, it's funny. I was scrolling through, and I finished watching. Oh, I had finished watching season 4 of The Umbrella Academy. That's what I had been on.
Yeah.
I got caught up with that, and I was like, screw it. And I was going through the anime, and I saw one that caught my attention called High Rise Invasion.
Haven't heard of that one.
It's based on a manga, which I looked up the manga. And the art is very close to the real deal. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks good.
Yeah. What's it about?
This girl wakes up on top of a building and is being hunted by people with masks, but they don't kill her. It's a whole nother realm apparently, and these people that just randomly get picked from our world and put into this world, and it all takes place on top of high rises that are connected by rope bridges. And these people hunt them. They're wearing these masks. They call the people masks, but they're not allowed to directly kill the people. They're supposed to drive them to the brink of insanity or desperation so that they kill themselves and throw themselves off the building. And that's pretty much the premise of it. And I was like, okay, whatever. And I was watching it, and I actually got really hooked on it. I burned through the first season in like
Good Lord,
2
man.
days. It was nothing. I mean, it was only like 13 half-hour episodes.
Sure,
It was a
yeah,
short season,
yeah.
so it was easy for me to get through it. A lot of the only thing I found kind of odd about it was there's a lot of focus on panties in this one.
Yeah.
They talk about panties a lot.
Just talk about them.
Well, like
You see them
like
too,
the main
right?
you do the main
These
character.
panties are driving me to the brink of insanity. I'm gonna jump off this building.
The main character's wearing the typical sailor uniform.
Sure.
And then
I mean, you said at the moment you said high rise. I'm like, I know why it's up high.
yeah.
The camera angles are already rolling through my mind. I know why everything's set high in the sky.
frequently she's
Rope bridges, okay.
Yeah. Frequently she falls on her butt, or someone's following her behind her on a rope bridge, and it's this
Yeah.
other girl, and she sees her panties. There's this one scene where one of the masks is a woman, and she's wearing a mini skirt, and she's about to stomp on this guy's head and kill him with her boot. And the last word he utters is panties, and then she smashes his head. It's okay. I like that.
You might
No, I like
I
that
like
too.
that a lot. It was
I'm
kind
good
of,
with
it was mildly erotic, but not pornographic.
Yeah.
But it's good. I liked it. I don't know if I'm supposed to like it, but I really
I
liked it.
think it's, if you like
It's
it, you like
subjective,
it.
yeah. And I would recommend anyone give it a shot. You'll know whether or not you're interested after the first couple of episodes.
Yeah.
But then something else really weird happened. So do you remember me telling you that I started watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure on Netflix?
I don't remember.
Did I
you
not bring
saying
that up?
You
I bet-
might
I
have.
think I
but
remember you said
I
that.
don't remember.
That's one I've always wanted to start as habit.
A couple of months ago, I started watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure on Netflix.
Yeah.
Got through the first season, and I was like ultra. And then I got to the second season. And the first season, I was like, it's all right. I guess it's all right. Whatever. Got to the second season, I was like, what the fuck is going on? None of this is making any fucking sense to me. And I gave up on it. I was like, fuck this. I don't want to watch this. This is confusing. This is shit I'm supposed to know and don't know because I haven't been watching anime long enough, I guess. I don't know what the fucking problem was, you know? Didn't think anything more of it. Yesterday, or a couple of days ago, Gage messages me. He goes, Dad. I'm like, what? Dude. What? Man, you have got to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm like, Gage, I tried.
And you've watched it all since then.
I tried to watch it.
You went to your hyperbolic time chamber and watched all of JoJo's.
I did, no. I told him, I was like, Gage, I tried watching it, man. He goes, I don't understand. I've been watching this and I love it. And I know this is right in your wheelhouse, especially with the anime that I know you've seen and that you've enjoyed. So far, I haven't seen one I haven't enjoyed, you know, up to this. And I was like, I don't know, man. So I start describing the stuff from the season I watched, and he's like, and then the next season after that, and where I kind of fell off, and I was like, you know, I just sort of lost it.
I know what happened.
I just sort of lost it when so-and-so and this happened, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And he goes, what? And I said, it just didn't make sense to me. How does it make sense to you? Explain to me what I'm missing. And he said, wait, are you watching it on Netflix? And I said, yeah, I don't have Crunchyroll. I don't have any of that shit. He goes, oh, they got the watch order wrong. It's kind of a known problem, and they fixed it. But I watched the most current season of the show, which then jumped to the actual second season of the show. And it didn't make any, I was like so confused. And he's like, no. And he sends me the correct watch order. And then I go back onto Netflix and I look and I see the watch order is correct. He's like, I think they messed up. I think I heard that they had messed up the watch order or people were confused. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, I was one of them. And so I started watching it again, only this time from the correct first season. Now I love it. Now it's like making total sense and I'm really enjoying it. And I also know a lot of shit I shouldn't, but whatever. It makes sense to me now. So that's where I'm at. I'm on that.
Nice. Now. I like what I've seen of it. I fell off, but not like in an angry way.
Mm-hmm.
It was just kind of one of those where it's like, honestly, it was one of those where it's like I like watching anime with Nikki, and I don't think that's her jam.
I don't think it was her thing.
So when I watch stuff, I try to watch stuff that I also think that she would be interested in. And after watching like the first season of JoJo's, I was like, I like this, but it's going to be a struggle to watch with her because I don't think it's going to keep her interest. And then it kind of gets in this thing where it's like, well, I guess I could watch a thing alone. And whenever that thought crosses my mind, it's just like, put that motherfucker in a coffin. It's done. Unless it's a movie. But if it's like a show, like one that I have to like get invested in, I got to be watching that with somebody. So if I could keep up with you, Ian, which I cannot, then I might give it another go.
It's hard to do because I do watch a lot of TV.
You go through it, man. I'm like, I applaud it. I can't do it.
I watch it as much as I can, you know. But there's times where I'm watching anime that I really need to be playing a game for the show, like because I can't do both. Like
no.
I will play a game, and then before I know it, 30 minutes of this show I was interested in has gone bye-bye.
Well, that's why it's got to be a sitcom.
Yeah, it's got to be something I've seen 1,000 times or something that's just not going to... But I'm also that kid who will just stare at whatever the fuck is on TV blindly. I don't care. I've been a TV kid since day one.
Yeah.
And I watch TV. That's all I do. That's all we do is watch TV. And, you know, I game and I can pull away from it at times. But for the most part, when I come home from work or I sit down and whatever, and we'll just sit and watch. She'll put on Law and Order.
Yeah.
And I'll be playing a video game, and then I'll find myself watching Law and Order and just staring at it like, you know, it just gets my attention and keeps it. It's like one of the only things I can actually pay attention to.
What was that anime you first mentioned, the one with the panties?
It's called High Rise Invasion. It's on Netflix right now. There's only one season.
Wait, the anime with the panties?
Paname.
Panty
May.
That's like a subgenre.
Yeah.
I still, whenever you watch Golden Boy, that's when I'm eager for all of us to sit down and talk about it. We could do it one episode per episode of Golden Boy.
I'm down to do that. I almost bought a Golden Boy animation cell.
Oh, man, that would be.
But it got a little expensive. Yeah. Like, a little... In hindsight, I probably should have bought it, but
Yeah.
at the time it was very much like I don't know.
No, I totally understand that.
But Golden Boy is a tough one because it's like I love Golden Boy, but there are some stipulations to Golden Boy. You have to watch the English dub.
Yep.
You have to.
Yep.
I wouldn't do it any other way.
Okay.
I have to watch English dubs because a
Gotcha.
lot of times what I'm doing is like I'll set my phone, like I'll go in for lunch, I'll set my phone up on the cabinet and I'll start making my food.
And you'll listen.
And I'm listening, and
Gotcha.
if something like goes, I'll like stop and go and look real quick. But for the most part, I'm just listening to the dialogue. So
Yeah.
if it's not English, I got to be watching the subs, obviously, and I can't do that. So
Well, it's
no problem.
see back in the 90s, English dubs were really bad.
Yeah.
They're great now. I honestly think that they're great now. I watch them subtitled, but it's mainly just because that's how I grew up.
Right.
But I mean, like
We watch everything subtitled, but yeah, I get it.
but I mean, English dubs, they're perfectly fine now, but they used to be absolute trash, like
Yeah.
laughably so.
Is that why I need to watch Golden Boy with English dub?
Yes and no, because
It's the best voice performance I've heard in fiction.
it's not it's weird because it
Oh,
is.
man.
It's but yeah.
Only Kintaro though. Everyone else
right.
is
Everyone else is absolutely what you expect from a cheap '90s
Yep.
anime, where it's
So
just.
what's Doug Smith? Is that the guy who does
I think
Kintaro?
that's his name. But
God bless
I don't
Doug
know for
Smith
sure.
because he brought it. He brought it on a level, I don't know, once in a generation level for Kintaro.
Especially for like for the period. It's I wouldn't say that I would say that it's great because it is so funny and it is a comedy anime. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like his
Yeah.
performance is great for what the anime
What
is
it
trying to
is,
do. It's trying to
right.
make you laugh, and he does a really good
Yep,
job of
yep.
making me laugh.
But just 7 episodes.
Yeah,
Or
it's
is it
short.
6 episodes?
It's
6 or 7.
It's somewhere in there.
Shit, I could burn that up in an afternoon.
Oh yeah.
You could.
But
I
I'd
don't know
also-
where it's showing.
Because of High Rise Invasion, the way you make it sound, it's got the sort of the pervy angle, but also the serious, the
It
dark.
is, and it to me is it's very much reminds me of kind of like it's got a Squid Game feel to it.
Yeah,
Because like it's a situation where, of course, in Squid Game they know why they're there. They fucking volunteered to be there. But in this one, they just sort of appear in this realm, and the whole thing is geared. And this is no spoiler, but it's geared around a quest for the perfect God, because God has to factor in there somewhere. And there's some really interesting characters. The lead characters are like high school girls, and they can be a little bit grating. But I think for me that's new. But I also know that's probably not uncommon.
It's tropey.
Yeah,
It is a little tropey, and but it doesn't bother me. I thought it was really good. I thought it really held my attention, and I wanted to see more.
I think
after
you'll
every
like High School of
episode.
the Dead then.
High School of
High
the
School
Dead.
of the Dead.
Okay,
So
because I do like that sort
Yeah, I
of.
could see
I
that.
do like that sort of sexy, pervy angle to it. I don't need it to be crazy, like pornographic.
Then you would definitely like High School of the Dead.
But there's something neat. I like that kind of.
I get
they
it.
stick it in there like the old.
Why do you think I started watching it?
Right? Yeah.
I mean, that was definitely
I feel like because I watch a lot of old horror movies too,
Sure.
and like '80s horror, campy horror films are my favorite because of that.
I get it.
That sex is injected in there just enough
Yeah.
to make it titillating, but at the same
Well,
time, it's kind of scary and it's kind of fun.
Also,
and
it's like
funny.
really fucking smart, like hook 'em while they're young kind of angle,
Sure.
because it's like, dude, when I was 11 years old, here were my options: anime and horror movies.
right.
Where it's like I want to see a little bit of something. Those are my two go-to options, and it's like okay, and then cut to 30 years later, it's like, well, I like this stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I
and
mean,
I'm
it's like-
finding it now in the last year. I've found myself. I'm actually think I'm a fucking anime fan because I
think
keep
you
watching it and I
definitely
keep
are.
enjoying the shit out of it, and I keep wanting to see more. And like, I even like with this High Rise Invasion, I even went so far as to go and look at some of the drawings,
Some of the
people
manga,
that
yeah.
scanned
Oh,
in of the manga. Excuse me.
You're
and,
good.
Now it's a little bit more explicit. There's like actual nudity. They cut that out of the show. I think they're trying to draw sort of a boundary there of we're not going to have actual nudity in here, but
They might. I don't know because I don't know much about this show. You might be able to purchase a version.
That's like
that keeps that
uncensored or
in.
whatever.
I don't know if that's still a thing that production companies do, but it's definitely a thing that they used to do.
Yeah, well, some of the cells the drawings I saw were censored. So it may be that like with blocks.
Yeah.
Like, it was drawn, but then someone put a big black box over
Sure.
the part that maybe wasn't allowed to be shown in Japan or whatever. I don't know, but anyway, it's a cool little show.
Cool.
And I liked it a lot. So anybody that's interested, tell me what you think if you watch it. I think it was really fun. Had a lot of fun with it. And again, I got to bring this up one more time. Stranger Things. Do you guys watch that show?
No, I don't.
I downloaded it. I haven't watched it. The latest season, I haven't watched. I haven't started yet.
I
I want to.
I hear you can order a pizza with your mind, though.
Can.
That's about all I know about Stranger Things.
There's
at
a
this point.
couple of things about it. There's a pizza van that plays a central role in the movie, and
okay.
the phone number on the pizza van, you can call it and get a recording. I love when it
And
shows.
it's not some Korean guy's number who's pissed off
Nope.
that
It's a
they used
real
it.
thing that they actually
without his
bought the
permission.
number.
Oh, the Squid Game.
They bought the number. Yeah, right. No, it wasn't that. But
Wouldn't it be great if it was that guy?
oh my god,
I think that. No,
poor man.
but Stranger Things, they're like, we're gonna get in on this joke, but we're actually gonna pay you money.
right.
And it's like we're gonna
this
get you set
time
up.
we're gonna make it right. I got to tell you, I have said this before. I think I don't know if I said it on the show or what. Aside from the monsters and all that crap that goes, so that show is my childhood.
Sure, yeah.
That is exactly the way we were when we were kids.
I remember you saying that.
And this season was no different. There's this one scene at the very end of the season that is going fucking viral right now, and I just think it's so ironic because it's basically, have you heard that there's a Kate Bush song that has like gotten really
Blow
popular?
the fuck up.
No.
Yep.
It was called "Running Up That Hill."
Miss
and it was-
Wuthering Heights
I
herself.
think it's that now it's the record for the longest.
It
gap
broke.
in
It broke 3 records.
Yeah.
This song "Running Up That Hill" plays a central part in the show.
Okay.
It was out in '86, which is when this season takes place.
Okay.
And because of the show, that song hit the charts again, either the most played on iTunes or YouTube, whatever. There was a record set there and a record set for the oldest performer to chart, and something else. It was like huge,
Awesome.
right? Well, it's starting to happen again, only with Master of Puppets.
What?
And because that song is played at the end.
That's a lot more exciting to me.
In a very crucial scene, and I'm not going to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But I swear to you, I was sitting there watching this with my wife, and the guy in question starts playing the song on a guitar. And I just lost my shit because I love Metallica. And
Yeah.
I started loving Metallica back then.
Sure.
And at the time that this took place, Master of Puppets had only been out for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And of course, so all the haters are now saying, well, he wouldn't have known how to play Master of Puppets already. It's only been out for 2 months. I'm like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah.
When that album came out, all the guitar players and bass players and the drummers in the world were trying to play those songs like instantly. But it was just an unforgettable moment, and it was so awesome. And it's starting to happen where people are starting to look at Master of Puppets and old Metallica
Yeah.
and like getting into it. And I mean, I even see like gatekeeping posts. Like somebody posted on Twitter, sorry.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, no
One-
shit.
one
No
bit.
shit.
One bit.
Someone posts on Twitter at Metallica, sorry Metallica for all the fake fans because of Stranger Things 4.
Was it Napster? Because that would've been hilarious.
No, that would have been funny. Metallica responds with, we don't have a problem with people liking our music. It doesn't matter who they are. And they might even
But
actually
it does
find
matter
other music that they
whether
like.
or not they pay for it.
But they have to pay for it.
Yep. I was about to say, because I remember music clicked with me in the era of Metallica is ruining everything.
Yeah, they did. I'm not gonna lie. Lars and his buddies were having a heyday with that.
So I was like, I love this Napster thing. What are they trying to take away from me? Who is this? Metallica?
But anyway,
Metallica. The Power Rangers villain.
Metallica. We had a good time with that one, and I can't wait for anyone that watches Stranger Things wants to hit me up on Discord. I'd love to talk about it because those kids were me and my friends. It was so cool.
I think most people are watching it. I think I'm an outlier.
They broke Netflix. Netflix broke.
I want to. I just haven't.
Yeah,
had the opportunity.
They broke up the season. Like there was like 8 episodes, and then there was a 2-month break, and then the 9 and 10 episode came out like last weekend or something. And apparently Netflix went down in some places because so many people were trying to watch it all at once. It's a huge thing. It's the biggest thing Netflix has ever done. I know it is.
And 11 other people passed on it before Netflix was like, oh, we'll give it a shot.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's made a huge splash. And it's some of the best TV out there, honestly. I really dig that show, and I like that they've continued to keep it interesting. It's not to say that each season is a little different because they're all kind of the same theme, but they do such a great job of tying all the different bits and pieces of information throughout the seasons together that it's pretty great.
Yeah, like
Pretty
Lost, but
flawless.
with planning.
I love it. Yes, exactly. They have a plan.
Not just changing things on the fly because people on the internet guessed correctly.
See, right.
Which
So-
is fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
But it does get to a point where it is like, oh, damn.
Well, it's like I'll compare everything like that to playing Jacob's D20 modern game, and Jacob building up this. He planned for hours for this huge fight, and he wanted it to be a big twist, and as soon as we started that episode, like 5 minutes in, Josh realizes the twist, says it out loud, and Jacob loses his goddamn mind and says, fuck it, you're fighting him. Fuck it. I don't even have to explain to you why. I'm not fucking with it. You ruined it. You're fighting him.
You ruined it.
You ruined it.
Oh, man, he was so bad.
You ruined everything.
Josh is like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll kill him.
I wasn't there, but I definitely can see this all playing out.
And that's
Especially-
Josh's gift. If I want to lay it down breadcrumbs, Josh won't fucking get it. But if I don't want you to know, Josh fucking hones in on it exactly.
But anyway, that is Wiz and Sage's TV talk.
I don't.
week.
Oh, yeah.
I don't watch a lot.
High Rise Invasion, Stranger Things 4, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Wiz and Sage says, check it out.
Make time for Spy Family. It's
For what now?
Spy Family.
Spy
It's an
Family.
anime
Okay.
that's just ended its first season.
Okay.
It's very, very good.
Cool.
It is. I think you would like it a lot.
Okay.
It's just one of those where it's super well done. I honestly don't want to give a whole lot of details away. It's kind of one of those where it's just like the journey is a lot of fun, and it's a pretty wholesome.
Okay.
It's a pretty wholesome anime, and but it's very funny. Got a lot of good action. It's kind of been like the big one of this season. A lot of people have said this season's been kind of a flop, but this one has been like, this is the one.
Well, see, it's funny because I've had, normally I take stuff like this with a grain of salt. I have had so many people come at me about anime. You guys, both my sons,
We're all just
other people-
excited that you've
Well,
discovered
and I know,
it.
and I love that because I had there would be a point in my life where I would have said, nah, no, I'm not going to do that. Well, I started doing it, and so far, every time someone has said, "Try this one, you'll like it," I have,
Yeah.
So it's been fun. I haven't watched any of the shit I normally watch. Like I'm way behind on other shit because I keep watching anime, but I'm okay with that Because for me, it's fresh. For me, it's something I haven't
totally
seen before. I'm like watching JoJo today, and one of the things they end the end apparently the developer or the writers of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure are super into classic rock bands.
Yeah,
so
a
they
lot of
name,
references.
Like one of the
Well, that's
characters'
exactly
name,
up your alley. Then
it is. One of the characters' names is Master Ton Petty, Ton Petty. One of the guys' names is like Robert E.O. Speedwagon.
Right.
I mean, that's not even subtle at all.
All the stands and stuff
But
too.
I'm going through, after getting the advice to start it again, I go through the first episode, or the second episode of the first season. And I'm hearing in the back, you can tell the episode's getting ready to ramp up and end. Right, they're going to end on something big, and they're starting. I'm hearing this song, and I'm like hearing this music that I totally, completely recognize, and I'm like, wait a minute, is that Yes? It's a song called Roundabout. Yes. It's called Roundabout by Yes, and I'm like, holy shit, they're playing Roundabout, and they play like a good chunk of it, and then I actually watched through the credits to hear the rest of the song, and I was just standing there eating my carrot, just grinning ear to ear, and Tanya looks around at me and she's like, everything cool? I'm like, oh, you don't even fucking know.
a time traveler made this for me to hear 40 years later.
Exactly. Oh, it was so cool. Anyway.
Well, I'll drop Golden Boy, High School of the Dead, and Prison School in our Discord chat.
Okay.
So.
And you put Spy
And
Family,
Spy
on
Family.
there? Okay.
Yeah, it's Spy X Family.
Okay. All right.
If you're searching for it with written word, but it's really good.
Cool.
Recommend. High recommend.
I'll try it.
I also have been playing, because I don't watch a lot of stuff. I play a lot of games. I've put almost a full work week into Final Fantasy VI.
It's like 40 hours played.
Dude, I know. I felt bad. I was like, God, I haven't played.
I enjoy it a
enough.
lot. It's not like I'm not complaining. It's
dessert. It's feel good time.
It's been a lot of fun, especially because it's like I wanted to give myself a reason to get excited about it. So that's why I got the Pixel remaster, because it's like, okay, well, this would be kind of a new way to do this. And like, I've played through Final Fantasy VI probably twice on the Super Nintendo. And then like, since then I've played it I've started it probably a dozen times and played through the first 4 hours, and then just kind of been like, okay, cool. That was the bite that I needed.
That was fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the bite that I needed, and now I can, keep up with the other stuff. So I guess my point is that like that's like, man, that's what I like to do. I like to play games, and so like I've been playing that a lot, and then Double Dragon 3 because it is the weekly challenge on the forum that I'm involved in, and it's that is a game that I would love to talk to you guys about for an episode sometime, because
Now, is this on Super Nintendo, or is this a Nintendo
this
game?
is NES.
NES, okay.
And it is, I think, pretty interesting. I don't think that it's a great game, but I think that is also what's going to make it fun to talk about.
Let's do it.
Because it's good?
Because it is not so great.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Well, yeah.
I don't think it's bad.
I know how recording a podcast goes.
I honestly don't think it's that bad, but I also have found that I'm super forgiving with NES games. I'm so much more forgiving with NES games than I am Super Nintendo games. Like, I mean, a Super Nintendo game I can shit on all day.
You fuckers had no time to figure this out.
Right.
Fuck you.
I know, right? It is kind of that. But like NES games, I don't know, maybe it's just the quaintness, but like there's a lot of times where it's like I find the jank endearing in an NES game, and I don't find that same thing endearing in a Super Nintendo game. I don't know why.
It's all right.
Let's do it.
I play Flappy as well, an NES game that is a puzzle, a push block puzzle game.
Oh.
Not a fan of that one.
Okay.
But if you're looking for something that's kind of like Adventures of Lolo, but like more frustrating than that, give it a go. You play as a little chick that pushes boulders around, and the goal is to get like, there's one blue boulder. They all look like meatballs. So like there's one blue meatball, and then like brown meatballs. And it's like the goal is to get the blue meatball to like a blue platform.
Okay.
And so it's the whole, you just see, it's back when Nintendo gave, like, it's like you beat a board and then go to the next board. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you see the whole screen.
Yep.
Everything's right there.
Solomon's Key style.
Solomon's Key style, yes, but this is like an unfriendly Solomon's Key, which I feel like is saying a lot. There's 200 levels in this thing.
Oh, damn.
And here's what's super frustrating about it is like the meatballs all move on a grid, but your chick does not. Doesn't seem like it would be that bad. I mean, it sounds like it's not great, maybe just a minor inconvenience, but what sucks is you can destroy your boulders. And you can destroy your boulders by like accidentally bumping it when it's next to a wall. And when you destroy a boulder, it's typically like, well, this puzzle's unsolvable now. Like there so many times I'd figure out the solution. It's very friendly in that you can pause the game and it doesn't throw up a big screen that's like, sorry, we're not going to give you time to think. You can see
like
it.
pausing a Pornhub video.
I don't know, man. I just burn right through them. I don't know if I've ever paused one.
click, click.
I'm usually like, can I skip through this faster? Get to a good part. Get to a good part. But like, yeah, man, it's like so many times I'd solve the puzzle and then be like, all right, I got to move this here, this there, this there, got it. And then immediately, I destroyed my boulder.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done. It would be a nice one to play with save states, I think, because then you can just well,
Oh, fuck that up.
fuck that up. Let's go
Rewind
back.
it. Yeah.
That would be the enjoyable way to play it,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. No other really big news for me other than I guess I'm a Pepsi guy now.
I saw you were drinking Pepsi Zero Sugar.
I got to tell you, this stuff's really good. I had it. They got me through Taco Bell because they don't have Coke there. So I was.
Because Pepsi owns them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They own them, Pizza Hut, and KFC.
Wow.
Yeah. It's all under that Pepsi umbrella. It used to be.
Yum
I think it's
is
still-
under
Yeah.
Pepsi?
Yes, I believe
Wow.
it is. Unless, I don't know. I know at one point Pepsi owned all those brands.
And what cable company owns Pepsi?
Sean Hart Wigs.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I tried Pepsi Zero Sugar and was like, holy shit, this tastes like a non-diet soda. So I drank that, and so like I started getting that every time I go to Taco Bell, and then I was just like, man, I want to try. What do these taste like canned? And I think they're really good. I think the answer is I think it's better than Coke Zero.
I went. Well, I don't drink the Zero Sugar, obviously.
Sure.
I've mentioned that 100,000 times. But we switched to Pepsi. When I drink soda, we don't drink much anymore. But I switched to Pepsi like 3 or 4 years ago from Coke, and I'm hooked. I love Pepsi.
Yeah.
I like it way better than Coke now. And I was a Coke dude my whole life, but I'm about that Pepsi tip now. So.
The way I explained it to Nikki was the shelf life on this Pepsi Zero Sugar is like 1,000 times longer than a Coke Zero. Because like Coke Zero, man, I love a Coke Zero when it is damn near frozen.
Right.
Where it's like, fuck, this is awesome. 10 minutes later.
Yeah, you crack it open and it goes, goodbye. And it's flat.
Yeah, I mean, 10 minutes later, it's like, this isn't very good anymore. But the Pepsi Zero Sugar, what I do like about it is like, I don't know, it feels like.
Holds its flavor and its carbonation a little better.
I don't know about the carbonations. I've kind of given up on carbonation. You know what I mean?
You get that in the first couple of drinks,
right.
and then
it's like whatever.
just
It is
crapshoot after that.
It is
Yeah,
what
I
it
get it.
is. But like I don't know, something like the warmer. I think this goes with any soda, in my opinion. But like the warmer a Coke Zero gets, the worse it gets, and it gets worse faster than a Pepsi Zero Sugar does.
Okay.
And the other thing is like, it's weird, man, but it's like and this also might be a con, depending on how you look at it, but it's like I can open a Pepsi Zero Sugar and I can chug it. I cannot chug a Coke Zero. Like, it's just something about, I don't know what it is. It's almost like the Coke Zero's my body is just like, I think that's a solid, dude. Don't. but like,
This is car cleaner. Stop it.
which I mean, I still drink Coke Zero, like from restaurants and stuff. But in the house, switch to the Pepsi Zero Sugar. Pepsi Man has finally gotten
Finally
to
got
me.
it.
You know, Pepsi, Dave, is the choice of a new generation. You can't deny it. I mean, it gets to you eventually.
Well,
Yeah.
we switched to Pepsi because Melissa had
Holy
an
shit.
aspartame intolerance.
Look at
She
us.
was all about Diet
There's
Coke.
fucking 3 Pepsi boys here.
Then, like, she was having MS type symptoms.
Yeah, aspartame is
It turns
the
out
worst.
it was the aspartame. So we switched to Diet Pepsi. Stop. Went away.
I think they use sucralose maybe.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
And then,
of-
yeah, so Melissa's been fine ever since. Like, to the
See,
point,
the-
like, our hands were locking
Maybe-
up and shit.
Maybe-
Aspartame gives me a migraine headache. All that diet shit does. Even the stuff in the new. I still can't drink the new stuff, but it's more tolerable to me than like aspartame or back when saccharin was a thing.
Oh, is saccharin not a thing anymore?
No.
Oh, yeah?
No, they stopped using saccharin.
I gotta
I'm
tell you-
certain they did.
I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what's in anything I put in my body. You know, I got the vaccinations or whatever. You know?
You got the 5G. You're safe.
I don't question shit, I guess. That's my point. Where it's like, I don't know, this killed me, fucking bring it on.
I do what Business Daddy tells me to do.
How much of this I have to drink, Mr. Pepsi, before I die? They won't let me smoke the cigarettes anymore.
Did you see the shit? It was on. I saw it on. Maybe it was on Reddit or on TikTok. The guy who he drank 25 liters of
Cola?
Pepsi a day.
And died.
Well, no, he finally went to a hypnotist, and for the first time in
And
25
now he
years,
can't stop quacking.
And now he won't go to work.
he's like, for the first time in 25, he worked at a grocery store, so he could get it cheaper and readily available.
It's the employee discount.
Yeah. So he's like, most of my paycheck went back to buying the Pepsi.
Pepsi. He tried to get hired at Pepsi, and they were like, "I don't think
We
so."
see what's
Right? Yeah.
We see what's going on here.
You don't drink your own supply, sir.
That's why banks are like, you have been convicted of bank robbery? I don't think so.
Try again.
Well, he got hypnotized to break his addiction, and then he's like, "Yeah, I drank water for the first time in 25 years because it was
Christ.
exclusively Pepsi."
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I drink water every day, but I also drink a lot of soda.
Because water's in Pepsi.
There's plenty of water in beer.
That's a,
I drink the water and the coffee, and that's it now. I don't drink
That's what I've
anything
tried.
but water, and tea, iced tea.
I do unsweet tea, coffee, and then I try to make a soda rare. So
I gotta cut.
I'm with you.
I gotta cut the caffeine. I just can't. It's just one of those where
No,
it's
I'll
like
never cut caffeine.
I need to. I will do it. It's just I'm not ready to do that right yet. It's like I gotta like if I can get my mind aligned with like what I need to do, it won't be a problem. But right now it's just like like what I was joking earlier where it's like I can't smoke. So it's one of those things where it's like I take solace in like what little vices
Sure.
I have. And it's like caffeine is one of those. And it's like I know it needs to go real soon. But it's just not yet.
It's hard to put the whoopee down, dude. I
Not
get
yet.
it. I get it.
You guys want to take a break before we dive into Final Fantasy VI?
Yeah,
Sure,
man. Let's
Some CXins.
all this motherfucking
Yeah,
CX.
Final Fantasy CXins.
We're back. In a nice, cool garage.
So Final Fantasy VI, Part 1. So we talked about how we were going to do it. We still wanted to follow our same format. Since the other was 2 episodes, we could split this one into World of Balance, World of Ruin. Would probably fit pretty nicely. So this episode will only be about the World of Balance section of Final Fantasy VI. But following our own format, so Final Fantasy VI, go to Toys R Us, you're looking through stuff, you don't know what Final Fantasy is, you see the Final Fantasy VI box art, what do you think? What's your expectations of this game?
Man,
I wouldn't know what the fuck it is.
No, I wouldn't
in
either.
any way whatsoever.
No, and I wouldn't have played this in middle school had it like not been recommended to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was just like I never would have just picked this up off a store shelf.
With the commercial, have you seen the commercial, Ian?
No.
Oh, the commercial.
Would the commercial help you in any way whatsoever?
No, well, it would have helped Square because
you're the mouse thing blowing shit up. Okay.
I love that commercial so much. It's Mog interviewing. Mog is a character from the game. He's the koala bear looking mascot essentially.
And we know it's a Moogle. We're just trying to talk generically, everybody who's like, but they fucking forgot it's a Moogle.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good point. I was just because Ian, I don't know if you know what a Moogle is.
I do know what
okay,
a Moogle is
sorry.
now. I do now. But when I saw the box, if I saw the box art, I would have thought, is this some sort of Pokemon thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sort of medieval Pokemon, because it's got the big sword,
Sword,
the
but
mithril
something
sword.
hanging off the sword.
Which is a weird choice for Mog, I'll say.
Yep. He can't even wield a sword.
Where's his lance?
If it was the Aura Lance, I'd understand.
But I didn't know anything about it. And looking at the box art, I would have thought it was some kind of medieval quest with Pokemon of some sort, And I guess to an extent, it's not too far from that. But the technology aspect
Magicider
of it,
Pokemon is a medieval steampunky quest. Okay.
Yeah, the technology side of it sort of surprised me a little bit. I wasn't prepared for that, I didn't know anything about it going in, and I still don't know much about it because I probably got through maybe a 16th of the game before we recorded.
Yeah.
So
I hope that Kefka doesn't say, at one point in the game when Kefka's going nuts, doesn't say, gotta catch them all, and throws it and gathers all the magicite, because it would fit.
I've been playing the remaster. I can tell you that he doesn't, but he does make 2 D's nuts references. I don't know if that's gonna make or break it for you.
General D's nuts.
At one point, he does say that his tower is lit.
Okay.
No,
that works.
I haven't got to that point yet. I don't know. He probably does though.
Man, this poison in Doma slaps. Right, so
It's bussing.
this train is bussing the dead to the other side.
It's a weird. The box art is weird because typically North American.
And 2 is equally as vague. If we think about it.
if not more.
Yeah,
honestly.
because there's not even an animal on it.
Yeah, there's just words on that. But like North American box art, like notoriously takes things that are kind of cute and makes them badass. Kirby is like a great example.
for sure, yeah.
But it's like this is the complete opposite. Well, I shouldn't say it's the opposite because like Final Fantasy VI box art is real minimalistic and very like high art, I guess is the way that I would put it, which I mean, there's some truth to that.
What do the kids like nowadays?
And it's, I mean, what we got in North America is definitely not badass. I feel like putting the sword, like adding the sword was like the compromise there where it's like, you can put that Moogle on the box, but he's fucking holding a weapon of some sort. So I don't know. It's kind of weird.
So what would your expectations be looking at that?
Yeah. Probably something
I knew what to
enjoy,
expect. I think I thought it was going to be some medieval thing, whatever with cute animals. I guess I don't know, but I knew what it was. So, the box art didn't really shape my perspective now. But putting myself in those shoes, probably that's what I would have expected.
I wouldn't have thought I would like it. If I didn't know what it was, I would have been confused and assumed like, okay, I wouldn't like whatever this is.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have picked it up. But I mean, that's also because I'm a kid who doesn't have money, and you know what? I mean, it's kind of one of those things.
Base it on the picture. I base it on the picture on the box when I'm a kid because I don't. If I don't know. If you don't have the internet,
flip it around, see what those thumbnails look like. What do the graphics look like? But I don't know, man. I mean, I loved Mog. I mean, like,
yep.
When I
on
played
my first playthrough, yep, I saw all about Mog.
Yeah, man, and it's like. Every playthrough since then, I've used Mog less and less and less.
That is one when we get to 3 bad things that something about
3 of those.
Something about Mog takes up one of my bad things about this game.
Oh, I know. I would guess.
But so a movie. If we were to compare this game to a movie or a celebrity.
Well, for me. I didn't. Strangely enough, it's gonna sound weird. I picked Naruto.
Okay.
And the reason,
Tread carefully.
probably not because
You're taking two things I love and don't sound nice about them.
No. I've heard about Naruto forever. And I've never watched it.
I'm just glad you're saying Naruto and not, Naruto.
Right.
The way that
Been
we
around
used to
here
say,
lately.
we definitely used to say it.
I wrote, I've heard about it forever. I've never watched it, and I don't get why it's as popular as it is. But that's not because I have anything inherently against it. But who has time to watch 220 episodes?
Okay,
of,
fair.
Fair. Again,
fair.
this was a time thing for
There
me.
are only 750 episodes between Naruto and Naruto Shippuden.
It's a time. That's where I was going with that. It's a time thing. I have never heard of, or never thought to play these because I know they're time intensive, and to get the full effect, you got to be 12 and have the whole summer ahead of you with nothing better to do and not have to
That helps.
work and
That
go
helps.
to school and things.
I would say it's not a requirement, but it definitely does help.
No requirement, but it helps. Yeah.
For me, it's kind of a requirement. I found the time to get the feel for it and played and I did enjoy it, what I played of it. And I think I'm going to keep playing and get as far as I can. I had a few things in my list of good and bad as well on my first impressions. And this is, you're getting the noob perspective from me here because having never done it, having never played it, I did like it and I enjoyed playing it. It's just, I feel like it's going to be sort of lost on
Pre-overwhelmed.
me because I'm not going to be able to find the time that I need to play it the way it's deserved to be played. So definitely not a casual game
No, it requires a commitment.
Yeah.
For sure. I
Well, if we
mean,
can do 3 Scott Pilgrims in a row, you'll have time to play
well,
another
that's
20%
true.
of it.
I thought about that. We'll probably have more time between these episodes, so
We
I
had
can
a
get a
week.
little farther. We had one.
we
only
just
had
had
one
we
week.
just had 1 week.
Yeah.
And having never played it, I got lost a bunch.
Or-
Oh, yeah.
It was.
Do you play a lot of but you play a lot of JRPGs from the 90s though, right? So you've got like a working
I don't think
vocabulary of all this stuff. Yeah.
No, I don't think I've ever played a JRPG
Right.
in my life.
So-
So,
I mean, my first blind playthrough had to be like 120 hours, just exploring, walking to every inch of the map,
Sure.
trying to land on every piece of land,
Sure.
and just trying to milk everything I possibly can out of it.
I do think that this is a good first one to play, but even then, I mean, the barrier to entry is it's pretty high because Tyler, I was similar to you. I mean, my first playthrough wasn't entirely blind because, I'd get stuck and I would call Lord Matt and be like, "Hey, what do I do here?" And he would help me. So, I mean, but it was still probably like 80 hours. I
Yeah.
mean, it was, but I enjoyed all of it.
Well,
you
and
know?
I got so stuck, and I'll get to this eventually. I guess I don't know if now's the time.
Sure. Where'd you get
I was
stuck?
looking for the castle. The very beginning of the game when
Oh,
you go looking for Figaro.
Figaro, yep.
Is it Figaro? Figaro?
I think both are applicable.
Okay. I couldn't find the fucking thing. I walked around in the desert. This is what I was talking about earlier. I was walking around in the desert aimlessly, hitting an encounter every 50
And that's a
milliseconds.
rough place and time to be hitting
But-
those. Like I totally understand.
Hey,
But
My beautiful wife is here.
yeah.
you gonna record with us? That mic, we get to make that mic live.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you.
Gotta go.
You gotta go.
Pick up a kid.
You brought
Okay.
everything.
She did.
It's nice to see you.
What are these? Natural
What'd she bring?
and artificial flavored filled donuts.
No,
Phil's?
she brought us Phil's donuts.
Phil's Donuts.
Filled donuts.
Oh,
Two.
PHIL''D.
FILLED. The PH is silent.
If Phil ever starts making porn, it better be filled.
Filled.
It better be.
Filled muffins.
Phil, 20% of all profits from Phil need to go to me. Use that.
But no, I found myself wandering around, running into a lot of encounters, which is fine because it helped me understand the mechanics of the game. It helped me, because like at first you're wandering around in these mechs and you're doing the thing and you've got all these awesome powers and she's bound, Terra is bound up and she's under their control, but you fight as her as well and she's like got Bioblast and got all these power and I'm
Yep.
like, hey, this is cool. And then they nerf you to start the game,
Yep.
right? And then you go and And so I built up a lot of experience, got a lot of gold, and did that. But I was also getting frustrated with trying to find where the fuck it was, because I was playing on my Retroid. The screen is the size of, a postage stamp, effectively, and I couldn't see the map very well. And so I ended up going to YouTube and watching someone play it up to a point.
That's fair.
To see how to get to the castle so I could move forward. And I did that, and kind of like you calling your friend, it's just I gotta move forward with this somehow or I'm going to quit. And
there's no chocobo stables in Narsh either, is there? So that makes that harder anyway.
Yeah, it was a walk. And once I found it, I was like, I have been walking in this vicinity. I know I was walking in this vicinity. I'd go up to where, okay, maybe I got to go around here, but then the land is too narrow to pass through, and go over here. And it's like, this is a secret passageway to South Figaro, but you can't get there right now because you're not. I hadn't gotten to.
Was it the cave that you were having a problem finding, or the desert? Like this castle in the desert?
Castle in the desert. I kept walking around it somehow.
Really?
And eventually I made my way to it. When I saw it on the YouTube video, I was like, God damn it. And finally I walked right. I mean, it's
in the middle.
It is. It is. I know. I don't know how I did that. I turned it off, and it was just kind of saved.
Well, I can see your gamer's instinct is to not head to the prize, to sort of look around all the edges and not miss anything. I can get how.
And I may have missed some dialogue that said it's right in the middle.
No,
but I somehow missed it, and then finally got.
And I can imagine the map being pretty unclear, like the overworld map you have in the corner. Like
it was, and plus it was this big to me, tiny, like I'm an inch. I need to upgrade my handheld game and go with something that has a bigger screen, because my eyesight's not what it used to be, but I can't always hook up. Like my Retroid doesn't hook up to my little portable monitor because it gets like this weird line right down the middle that screws up the graphics. So I don't know if it's a cable thing or what. But anyway, that's where I was kind of running into problems. I get to the castle, and then everything's just going smooth. I get it. I understand it. Get to the point where the castle submerges, which I thought was cool as hell. I did not see that coming. So I was like, ooh, and then they jump on the chocobos and ride away, and the castle submerges, and I was like, okay, this is really neat. And then I wandered around in the desert looking for South Figaro for another hour. Same problem. I finally found that. And the thing with the chocobo, like after you leave, then you're on a chocobo. Mm-hmm. And
it doesn't really tell you how to ride a chocobo or what's going on.
You're like in mode 7 or whatever, and I
crazy music.
And they do give you a tutorial in the remaster. I can't remember if
I didn't get one
if
in
that
this.
if they do it in the original version.
I remember whenever first time I played through the game, I'm suddenly on a chocobo, and I'm like, oh, cool, and I dismount.
Immediately get off.
Well, that was
no explanation. What am I doing? Where did it go? What can I do?
Yeah, that was one of my problems, and I rode around, and I was having a lot of trouble controlling the thing. Because this is my first real experience with mode 7, and I'm like, what? But I did like that there were no encounters, but then I hit X or whatever and dismount, and now I'm walking around looking for the next place, and I found that one on my own, and that's where I am now. I've kind of picked South Figaro clean. I don't know what to do next, but I'm gonna figure it out. But and again, it was neat. I found all this hidden crap and
there's a lot of hidden stuff.
A lot of hidden stuff in there, and got to armor up and get some. Oh, and I found figured out Optimum.
Yep.
Didn't know what that was until I was out doing battle. Well, I did. I didn't do battle, or did I? I can't remember. It was like after I bought some stuff in South Figaro. And I was doing battle, and I was trying to pick and choose what to assign my characters after I bought the stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I saw Optimum, and I was like, what's this do? And it just puts all the best shit you have that you can have on this particular character on them. It makes it the strongest. And I was like, oh, sweet. That was such a relief. And then I got the fast shoes relic.
Hell yeah, sprint shoes.
Which made a huge difference to me. So, I mean, it's improving, and it's just a learning curve. And... yeah,
in all subsequent versions, you just press a button to sprint.
Oh, really?
And you could buy sprint shoes and go twice as fast as that.
Oh,
But only
okay.
that original SNES version, yeah, you're slow as shit unless you equip the sprint shoes on somebody.
But that's just been first time experience, you know. I think as I play more, it'll become a little bit more familiar to me. I didn't have a problem adjusting to the battle mechanics. I understood what I was supposed to do. I understood that, you know, Terra has a cure and there's so much mana and you've got all this whatever, but I could use cure to heal and, you know, Locke could steal. And so I like totally stocked up on tonics and antidotes and stuff because I would steal every time it was his turn. I would steal from one of the things if I could, you know. And so I understood that. And it wasn't overly complex. There's a lot to it, but to me, it wasn't hard to understand. So yeah, I've enjoyed it. I just haven't had enough time to play through it as much as I'd like. And I'm going to be looking at YouTube, I'm sure.
Oh, I get that. I wouldn't hesitate to do that shit at all. Life's too short when
Save
you're
myself
our
some
age.
time,
So
yeah.
just like try it for a few minutes, be like, all right, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna look online. Well, my movie that I would think I chose Ocean's 11 because this game is sort of a weird heist. Huge cast of characters all getting together to pull one over on the Empire and steal their shit. So, Ocean's 11.
Okay.
What about you, Dave?
I went with Kill Bill. I think at its heart, I think this is Final Fantasy VI is a revenge story. All good revenge stories start with the villain utterly destroying their lives, and that happens to almost every character in this game. The Empire, almost, not all of them, but almost all the characters have their lives seriously impeded by the Empire. And then, like all good revenge movies, I know we're talking about the world of balance, but there's a comeuppance. And it's because of that. It's because of all the horrible things that have happened in the beginning that makes that comeuppance so sweet.
Oh yeah.
And Kill Bill, 2 volumes, World of Balance, World of Ruin, 2 volumes.
Oh,
And
that's good.
It is good.
I think this is a revenge story through and through, although it has like some really nice themes. Love is like a very common reoccurring theme in this game, and
Romantic, familial.
absolutely.
Friendship,
Yeah, it
yeah.
definitely explores brotherly. I mean, it explores like a lot of different aspects of love and what love means.
That's true. Edgar and Sabin. Is it Sabin?
Sabin or
I've heard it either
Sabin.
way. I've always said Sabin, but I
Yeah.
don't know what's canonical.
But I picked where he find his house, and this is his stuff.
He was here.
He
This-
was here.
This is his
yeah.
favorite flower.
Yeah.
And they take that and I love it because it's like they'll take that like small thing and then it just as the narrative progresses, more of the relationship is revealed, and this kind of happens with a lot of different characters in this game. I mean, and there's like a scene where I'm sorry, I just have to spoil stuff. But it's revealed that Terra is half Esper. And she kind of realizes, or she's like, well, I've never loved anybody. I don't even know what it feels like to love somebody. So it's like she's struggling with like why she feels this way. And then later on kind of discovers her own, like what it means. And it's like, it's not a romantic thing.
Right, yeah.
It's like a motherly thing.
So you're questioning, like, who's she going to get with? Well, nobody.
Right. And I mean, it really explores love a lot. And I think that is such, for a game that came out in like 1994 that was marketed to kids, I feel like that is like, this is the first game I ever played in my life that was like that. That felt deep. That felt like it was not just a story, because I've had stories told to me before.
You felt something.
But it was designed to make you feel like, I mean, it was like a movie is directed where it's like, okay, well, we want the player to feel this way here and this way at this point, and then like kind of orchestrate that to like make a nice big picture. And I think that's where this game shines. And I think it's my favorite Final Fantasy mainline game. And a lot of that, no doubt, is because I played it in formative years. But
It's
The
still
fact
good.
that it still
Even-
holds up says a
still
lot.
holds up, yeah.
Because how many
holds
times
up.
have you revisited an old game or an old movie that you fell in love with as a child, only to be seriously
Disappointed,
disappointed
sure.
in it, and like, shit, I wish I hadn't done that
Yeah.
because now my memories don't matter as much. You
Yeah.
know, I remember how I felt, but I was mistaken. You know,
Right.
You know, and not necessarily to say
No,
mistaken.
totally.
But
No,
yeah, I get that.
absolutely.
I get it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that
anything-
it holds up, that it still means that much to you. That says
Yeah,
a lot to me.
I can appreciate it more now than I did when I was a kid.
Same.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Same. And it's like, it's weird because it's one of those games where it's like, man, I remember playing this game when I was 12 and thinking that Cyan was some goofy ass motherfucker. And then it's like playing this game when I'm 40. I'm like, that is the character in this game that I relate to the most.
Yeah. How the fuck is he functioning?
No shit. No shit. Yeah, because Cyan goes through a lot of bad stuff that is caused directly by the
yeah,
Empire.
he's the most, well, him and Terra and Celeste, the most directly affected.
Edgar, essentially loses his kingdom. It's Terra, of course, loses her freedom. Celeste lost her childhood.
Yep.
Because the Empire, as a child, made her into a
We're
super
gonna experiment
soldier,
on you, yeah.
essentially. And so
it's
it's
fucked up with Kefka. We're keeping him around, but we're also gonna fuck with you.
right, and it's beautiful, and I know we're not doing World of Ruin, but there are some things that I definitely want to draw connections to. Celeste loses her childhood to regain it at the beginning of the World of Ruin. She regains her childhood.
It's a grandpa.
She gets a grandpa, and it's this moment. It's this weird.
And then depending on how you do it,
moment.
loses a grandpa.
And also depending on how you feel like
Yep.
it should go. Because as an adult playing through it, I know we're talking about the World of Balance, but like I went through the beginning of the World of Ruin like the way that I felt like it intended to go through. Because this game,
it's nice you can change it, but I agree with you.
yeah, I agree that it is nice that you can change it, but I'm sure we'll get into it next episode where we talk about Final Fantasy. But like this game, absolutely 100% talks about suicide, and I think that it is fantastic that it brings it up even to begin with. This game, like, you can tell that they really were trying to say something, and I don't feel like it was done in a arbitrary way. It feels like they really took care to do it.
Well, as a kid, I didn't even understand it dealing with grief in that Locke. It changes who Locke is.
Yeah.
Him dealing with his grief and his loss and his failure, and then to the point that, hey, weird old man, keep my girlfriend preserved in this basement. I'll figure out a way to bring her back to
Right.
life.
Oh, and I think it's really interesting because, like, in the World of Balance, at least, he kind of puts that to the side. And I feel like that is not an oversight from the direction. I feel like that is like this character's growing. Like, this character was so, like, caught up in reviving his love that he dedicated his life essentially to treasure hunting. But then, like, all of this happens, and it's like he grows as a person because the Empire rises up and it starts taking over the world and destroying everybody's lives. And then he gets wrapped up with Terra and
The rebellion is, what do they call
The returners.
The returners, yeah.
And no one could have saved Celeste to the extent that it needed to be besides Locke,
Right.
since he sees her, and even she's like, stalker much? Come on, dude, calm down. You don't even know me.
Right.
It's like, nope, not gonna let anybody hurt you. Fuck that.
And like it's great too because it's like this goes back to like while this overarching story of the Empire is going on, there are all these little side stories that are all character driven. This game has so many characters. I think it has like 11, right? Or 14. I mean, it's like
I have to count them out.
it's around a dozen. And what's great is that most of these characters form relationships with the other characters. Like Cyan, we mentioned earlier, the samurai dad. He loses his family to the Empire, and he later, shortly after, meets this feral child in an area called the Veldt. And something I didn't pick up on as a child, but as an adult playing this, Cyan has like a real like fatherly tone towards Gao, like a tone like this tone that he doesn't really use with any other characters, but he has this like this fatherly like patience and understanding with Gao, because Gao really irritates Sabin, like really irritates Sabin. And Cyan is always very super patient with Gao. And it's just an example of how like these characters have depth. And I never experienced that in a video game before. And honestly, like some games I don't even experience that in now. That's not to say that it doesn't happen, but it just shows to me that they really took a point to make that. That's like what they decided. That's how they decided to make this game special.
Yep.
Is what I think it is. They decided to make this game special by doing that kind of stuff. And to me, it resonated, and to me, it still does. And I constantly am like jonesing for that in games now. And another thing like is in this, I love talking to NPCs in this game. So many RPGs I play where it's just like I'm just getting generic dialogue. I'm just like going through all the things looking for the one NPC to tell me where to go and what to do, which you do that in this game too. I mean, you're gathering information, but the gathering information part doesn't feel like a chore to me like it does in Final Fantasy IV. It's because it's like, when they wrote the game, they're like, let's inject the flavor of the world into these characters. There are NPCs in this game who are minor and have their own stories. They feel like real people.
Yeah.
Like the wounded soldier, the wounded Imperial soldier. He's an Imperial soldier. Like, this is your enemy. But they make you feel bad for him because he's like, well, he got injured and he's got this girl
writing letters to him back in Miranda.
And I mean, I don't know, man. It's stuff like that where it's like they didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Especially at the time. They didn't have to do that to make an RPG in 1994. But they were like, it would be cool is if NPCs had relationships with each other, and
the world
player
felt a little more real and not,
it feels like a living, breathing world. And the players can discover this. If they don't, it affects none of the gameplay. They can complete the game. It doesn't matter. But there are just these things where it's like, if you pick up on them, they add to the experience.
I'd played through the game several times before I finally found one important NPC who tells you a few lines of dialogue that you can never figure out any other way throughout the game. So Vector is the Empire's capital. So returners go into Vector, shit gets fucked up, Vector's on fire, you're leaving, you feel like, all right, I could
Vector's
fuck out
on
of Vector.
Fire is the next band name.
Yes.
Actual play, sorry.
Like, shit, the Empire, they're chasing me, they're pissed, place is on fucking fire, we have to leave. Well, if you don't leave right away, whenever you're running out, you see, there's a door marked cafe over here in the corner. I couldn't go into it before. There it is. You walk in there, and there's a soldier in black. It's like the bartender who's like, telling you better get out of town. And there's one black soldier over in the corner that you can barely see. You go over and talk to him, and he's just, all this shit is really Gestal's fault because he, the failed experiment on Kefka. That's why Kefka's so fucking crazy. Like, he tells you about Kefka was the first one. They experimented on him. He's fucking crazy and broken. Gestal won't get rid of him. I think this is going to be what ruins everything. Well, he's right, and you never find out why Kefka is so fucking crazy and why he's still around, except that one dude in the bar.
I don't think it really matters. Like, I think it's really cool
It's
that they
neat. It
that they
doesn't
put that
matter.
in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that adds flavor. And I mean, as off the rails as Kefka is, like as far as villains go, even as far as villains go, it's nice to have like that
A
explanation.
little context to like the chaotic evil that is Kefka.
Yeah. Sure.
But my Corey Feldman movie,
Yeah.
it's the Bad News Bears.
That's weird. It was mine too, because I didn't have one prepared.
That
It
is
works.
so weird.
The
because
returners
it's
of the Bad
mine
News
too.
Bears.
The returners of the Bad News Bears.
Yeah. And Bandon is fucking Walter Matthau. But all right, three good things. 3 good things about this game. It's hard for me to narrow it down.
I can't.
Well, for me, it's not because I don't have enough built up. So
Yeah.
I've got a few that I can throw out there, and we can play off of that as much as you like. My first impression, which is a good thing, is that this game is just packed.
Yep.
It's packed. Items, relics, characters, the NPCs, the backstories, all that stuff.
There's so much room,
Yeah,
but they feel like they fill it out.
They do, and it's you've got your main quest, and you've got the other stuff you could go look and see and enjoy if you want to, but you don't have to. I can definitely see why this would be a hell of a game to spend your summer as a tween playing.
Well, even in, like, when you're in South Figaro, it's not like any other RPG town. You see, okay, there's a river running through it. So that's where they have a dock.
Right.
And they have water wheels with buckets that you could see. And then you go to other places where they don't have a river. Oh, they have farmland. You go behind the house and they all have patches of farm. Like, they're little details that make it not feel weird. Like, it's just, this is 4 houses together. It's a village.
It seems good and well thought out and well put together.
And those the details go on and on and on, because it's like a little detail. There's an item in the game called a tent, and a tent is an item that you can use in the overworld. Heals your party to full, restores their MP to full. Every character in the game has a different sprite for their tent.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Didn't have to do that. Didn't have to do that.
Yep.
They just did it.
They didn't do it in 4, but they did it in 6. Yep.
So things being crammed in, and like it feels like there are secrets everywhere in this game. Every time I play this game, I notice something different about it, which is fucking blows my mind, because
We're talking about 30, coming up on 30 years, and it still holds up.
Desperation moves. I didn't know what they were for
really
decades after I played this game. I just know something sometimes would happen that was awesome, and I couldn't explain it. So a desperation move being sometimes if a character in your party is in critical health for long enough, they'll do a badass super move just fucking out of the blue. Every character has a unique one with a unique effect.
Yep.
So, like, I remember...
There's no indication.
No indication.
No
just happens.
indication that
You
these
don't
characters,
trigger this.
you don't choose.
No. Their back's up against the wall, and they'll just do it. Yeah, you don't have to wait for it. It just happens.
Cool.
That's it's a proto limit break. I mean, that's like in Final Fantasy VII, there are limit breaks with like a gauge. Like, it's clearly this is a mechanic. This is the interface for the mechanic. But in 6, it's fucking rogue. I mean, it is just like, sometimes this shit will happen. Sometimes you'll be asleep. A taper will show up and wake you up. Why?
Sometimes a wombat is going to roll over and fuck your shit up.
I don't know. The answer is I don't know.
This guy's got a dog. It runs out sometimes.
Because that's the way it is for real, though, right? I mean, that's the way it could be. Sometimes this guy's dog runs out. Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, that's.
Here's a rabbit in a samurai hat. It'll heal you a little bit.
Mugu? What's that mean? I asked the person who speaks Japanese. They don't know.
Is that the sound a rabbit samurai makes? Yeah.
There really was. I was playing the Final Fantasy VI randomizer on Twitch like maybe a year or 2 back. And Girk came in, who was at the time living in Japan. And we were talking about like all the name differences and like, because all the characters have different names in Japan in the Japanese version. And then he was like, no idea what Mugu Mugu means. None. Makes no sense to me at all.
I put also that I was not expecting to have an easy time picking this thing up and playing it, but it was surprisingly easy to understand. I mentioned earlier that it's the kind of the training mission to introduce you to the mechanics when you're in the mechs and your Terra's being controlled and all that. I thought that was good because you're not at much risk for dying here. You're getting a feel for how to play. Occasionally it'll pop up and tell you when you get to the shop that sells the relics for the first time, pops up and tells you what relics do and how to use them.
The guy takes off and hits the wall and runs away. And
Right, exactly. And then, that's the other, just another point that I found that I was intimidated when we picked this one because I thought, well, shit, I don't know what the learning curve is. And honestly, it really wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I understood the defense, like where you can switch to defense for your turn so that you only take half damage. You know, all of those things.
There's like a back row you could put a spellcaster.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
front row if you run, if you don't care about getting hit, you want to fuck shit up.
Again, neat that you can stack things in a certain way. You can play your own strat. You can just go straight at them, which is most of the time right now what I'm doing. It's just taking turns and curing when needed and hitting and fighting when needed and blowing magic left and right. But, again, for a first-time player, I was surprised at how well I was able to pick up and enjoy it and understand it. So
Yeah, no, I like that.
I really do think it's a good intro JRPG. That excluding action RPGs. Like I feel like if it's like a turn-based RPG, this is a good one to start with. Because even if you don't like the gameplay, there are a lot of other things that it offers.
Yeah.
When I feel like a lot of other JRPGs, it's like you have to like the gameplay. Like if you don't like the gameplay, then they might not have a lot to offer otherwise.
Yeah. I counted out there are 14 characters, 2 of which are secret.
Back to the secrets.
Yep.
Yeah.
So painted in the very broadest of brushes. My 3 good would be the story.
that was my third
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, the character variety.
Yeah.
Because 14 characters that all have as in the case of one, have all, one unique ability that makes them stand out. Different stats that you might not expect.
Yeah.
So like Realm, you wouldn't expect this little girl from a backwater village to have the best magic stat in the game. She blows the other 2 big natural spellcasters out of the water. I learned that watching the Final Fantasy 6 randomizer.
Yeah.
If you get Realm with Shock, General Leo's Shock,
Yeah.
she wrecks
Wrecks.
shit because it's dependent on your magic score.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just have one big ass AOE that you just bam, bam, bam.
I actually have that on. I have the character variety on my list of bad things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think it's really, really strong in the World of Balance until you get Magicite. And then
And everybody kind of runs
I
together.
can't remember who said this on Discord, and I'm really, really sorry. I wish I could, but you nailed it. It might have been Willie. When you start getting Magicite, all of a sudden your party's all red mages.
I get that. I think that's why I saw a mod one time to play where only certain characters could have access to certain kind of magic.
I think that's really cool.
So like black magic was a lot rare. More people had white magic and support magic and
I like your idea of the playthrough you want to do where only the
Only natural
magic, and I think that's really going to be hard.
oh yeah.
But I think that's and honestly as much as I'm complaining about like I don't like how Magicite homogenizes all these characters, it's also fun to use it. I mean, because it's like Magicite allows you to do 2 things. Allows you to summon a creature, which depending on the Magicite will do different things.
And summons aren't great in this game as compared to like other Final Fantasies.
Boy, when I was 12, I was just spamming summons, and like now I'm like, what the fuck was I doing?
Yeah.
Like Fyra. There we go. That was more damage than a summon.
there are only 2 or 3 that are worth a fucking shit.
Dude,
So
I've like, I don't know. A lot of the fun has been like, I don't know, man, let's just fight just fight whatever. And it's like
Do shit differently than you did.
Yeah.
Played it the exact same way 6 times when you were a kid.
but I mean, it's like, man, if I have Golem, who is a summon that lowers all like physical damage dealt to you.
Golem's badass, yeah.
If you have Golem, and then oh crap,
Palador is pretty good.
yeah, I don't have Palador yet. That's like late,
That's
super late game.
yeah. Who else is really good? Fenrir.
Fenrir, yes, Fenrir. I just got Fenrir. Fenrir's great because you get that illusion spell on everybody. There's Phantom, which is like gives you invisibility.
It's just like, and it's done.
Right.
And it's gone.
But so
Oh,
Magicite,
does somebody cast Egg Zone on you? Well, that's
Right.
unfortunate.
so Magicite allows you to do that, which now everybody's a summoner. So I mean, it kind of draws away from the individuality, but it also allows you to learn magic. So different espers will have different magic assigned to them, and as long as you're walking around fighting battles while you have this Pokemon in your possession, you learn it imparts those
Instead
spells.
of circles, they're gemstones
Right.
shaped like the S we all used to draw in middle school.
Right. So my point is, as you mix and match these, it gets to a point where everybody knows all the spells, all the same spells. And like in the late game, like in the World of Ruin, it's all about magic. So, I mean, it kind of does like in the World of Balance. Yeah. I feel like all these, like these, oh, wow, these are neat character abilities. I went to the floating continent with Gao. Never have done that before.
Yeah.
went through with Gao, and it's like, I'm not gonna be doing that shit like that in the World of Chaos. Not a fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, if I do, he's gonna be casting Ultima. You know, I mean, it's kind of like you don't have to play it that way.
Yeah.
Clearly, anyone can play it the way that they want to, but so it's not really, I guess, a gripe about that. It's more, I guess, a gripe that it's so cool that these characters are really unique and have unique abilities. It sucks to see it diminished.
Same for Final Fantasy X when you could unlock each other's
yeah.
sphere grids.
Yeah, I know.
They're all the same except
I know.
they're all the same. So
I know.
I get that gripe. That's why I think there are mods that definitely improve that. But you're right. That is a bad. Good character variety, good in the variety, bad that you can eliminate it. And then the music. The music.
Oh, man.
I use Final
God.
Fantasy VI music
Damn,
more
the
than
music's-
anything else. In Scott
God, the
Pilgrim.
music's so
like,
good.
hands down.
Uematsu, man, that is like, I mean, this is like, and out of all of his work, I feel like this is the pinnacle for me. I mean,
Yep.
I think Final Fantasy VII, the music in Final Fantasy VII is also very,
It's not as good.
very good. But
I
man,
compare the scenes, like when I'm trying to sit down and pick what music fits this scene in Scott Pilgrim. It is very rarely Final Fantasy VII.
and obviously this is personal preference.
Yeah.
Obviously this is all
7
subjective, but I mean,
A lot of 7 stuff all sounds the same.
I understand that.
It's very like, I don't even know. I'm not a music guy. It's hard for me to describe, but it all has the same tonality to it in 7. And I don't.
The themes
like
are
it
all
very
very
much.
similar in 7, I feel like. But in 6, they're kind of all
totally
over the
different.
place. I do feel like that comes down to personal preference. You and I have that same preference, but I could also see someone being like, "What? Why do they keep playing this kooky music?" You know, like there's like, it's more like, I don't know. There's a lot of songs that are just there for like mood. And I don't know if it's because it's like a limitation of what they could do through art design, but it's like, we want this to be a funny scene, so we're going to use the funny
We're gonna
song.
play that. Yeah.
But
Then,
yeah,
then I got to
love the
use
music.
whenever you guys met my dad in Scott Pilgrim. Then I got to use that theme whenever Kenny and Lim are talking to one of their mothers while I'm playing the Forever Rachel theme from 6. So that I think
Yeah.
that is such a powerful, sad theme.
Yeah, totally.
And then three bad.
I kind of have already touched on mine. I thought the random encounters, there was just too many.
That is my number one random
It's
encounters.
a frustration because it got to the point where I would hit so many, and I would hit one and I'd be like, fuck. And I felt like I wasn't progressing other than gaining, which is fine to gain skill and gain gold and gain all that.
Sure.
but after a while it gets boring and repetitive, and
You can lose where you're going.
you can lose
know?
where
Yes.
you're going super easily, and that happened.
Right. and like I don't think the random encounter rate is too high in this game, but I know where I'm going.
Right.
But I've been in that boat where it's been like, fuck, am I even going the right? Another random encounter, and then
Right.
it's like I'll get out of that and be like, I don't even know if I'm going the right way.
Yeah.
I could be going in the complete opposite direction I'm supposed to,
Yep.
hitting fight after fight after fight.
12-year-old you and today me high-fived over that through time last night when I was
The
playing.
best kind of high five, one
Yeah,
might
through,
say.
through time. I mentioned again, I was kind of unclear about my destinations. I felt like they would give you a vague direction that it's south of here. And then combined with the random encounters, combined with the fact that I could barely see my map, I would have liked waypoints, honestly, to say this is your next destination. Go here next. Do
Yeah.
what you want in between there. Go up here and fight random encounters all day long. But eventually, go to this red dot. I would have liked to have seen a waypoint thing there and make it a little less.
On your map, they're all yellow except your destination spot is red, so you would know. Okay, well that's where my end game is. Would be
That would be nice for someone like me who has played so many games in the past that have had waypoints.
Yeah.
That says, look, you got your it's a dealer's choice. Do whatever the fuck you want, but eventually to progress in this game, go to this dot, and then we'll take you from there. You know, that would be fine. I don't think that would take too much away.
No.
Because I never felt as if I wasn't exploring. I was looking around, trying to find my next place to go, and getting frustrated at
Sure.
leafers and the sand rays and all these things just constantly coming at me.
I get that. I'm all for that if it's something you can toggle off.
Fair enough.
I think that
Absolutely.
would be nice.
If you don't want that, you could turn it off. I think that's a brilliant idea.
And the reason I say that is I get it. I mean, I don't know. Any way you can make a game more approachable, hey, that's a plus.
Sure.
But I would hate for it to be added and not be able to turn it off in case you're one of the people who wants to gather that information. And in games like this and Earthbound, where it's like, man, I love talking to NPCs in Earthbound, where it's just like,
fuck yeah.
what are they going to say next? What
Yeah.
does this guy got to say? Like,
Exploring interactions is its own reward in
Oh,
Earthbound.
yeah. And I get that from Final Fantasy VI as well. So, yeah, but no, I get that. And especially because, like, in the Pixel remaster, they have on the world map, which you can blow up, they have...
Yeah,
Can you
you
do
could
that
do
in
that.
this one?
what?
Can you do that in the one I'm playing?
I
I
don't remember.
I think you can.
It's been so
I had
long.
forgotten about it, but I'm pretty sure you can.
Okay, maybe I'll experiment and see if I can, because
Yeah.
not being able to see that mini map clearly was driving me
Oh
fucking
yeah,
crazy.
and it's super important.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And I don't know how, again, it's been a long time since I played the Super Nintendo version, but so if this is in it, please let me know. But in the Pixel remaster, when you blow that map up, places that you visited, yellow. Places that you have not visited, gray dots. So
Maybe
see,
maybe
that's-
it's there and it was just too tiny for me to see, and I didn't know how to
I don't think it's there.
toggle it.
I personally, I don't
okay.
think it's. I think it's a quality of life thing that they added in the remaster.
Kind of like
is
the
my guess.
waypoint thing. That's even better for me. Leave out waypoints and just say this is a thing.
This is a location.
This is a thing you can go to, and if it's not time to go here, fine. I've trekked across the desert and I'm not
Yeah.
allowed to go in yet. But at least I know
Yeah.
I'm not wandering aimlessly.
Yeah. I think it's. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty good compromise between the two.
Absolutely.
They also are really smart about it too, because, like, for instance, in the world of Ruin, Duncan's cabin, not on the map. So I mean, there are like places that you
Hidden
can
places.
Yes,
Yeah,
there
yeah.
are
That makes
still hidden
sense.
places,
Well, I understand that's a thing. I'm talking about just major.
but just the major
Major cities,
the
that makes
major,
sense.
They're on there. They're just if you've been there or not.
yeah, and you run across something that's not on the map. Once you're there, then it shows up on the map. Like
Yep.
you've been there.
Yep.
So yeah, they think that would be fine.
There's also something that I really like, a quality of life improvement, where it's like there's a auto battle button that you press, and all the characters in your party perform the actions that they did in the last battle. and the battle sped up probably like 2 to 3 times.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's much nicer.
That would help
Yeah.
with the encounters
Yes.
being so frequent.
Yes.
Because
So
at
we
that
need to,
point,
we need
I'm
to
like,
find you a way to
fine.
play the Pixel
We do
remaster
need to
then.
find you a way to play that version. It sounds
Okay.
like, because it is. I say this loving the Super Nintendo version. Pixel Remaster is real fucking good, and it's like those the quality of life stuff on top of like the music being like reperformed. I mean, it's like those two things alone. It's like, yep, this is
like on Steam.
this is good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on Steam. Unfortunately, I think it's only on Steam. From what I understand, I don't know if this is true or not, but what I read online was the Pixel Remaster is essentially modeled after the mobile versions that came out that everybody hated because they didn't
like GBA mobile.
no
versions.
like phone
oh,
like you can
like-
buy Final Fantasy VI like on your phone.
Is that right?
I don't know what quality of life improvements it has on it, but everyone hated on those because the art style was
Chibi?
yeah,
Ish.
which I mean, to be fair, like it's chibi in the original game. It's just so pixelated that it like I don't know. It has a different feel to it.
I remember looking at the art in the instruction booklet and being like,
I know, right?
what?
I know.
This is so different.
Yeah.
I hated it as a kid. Love it now. But yeah, absolutely hated it as a kid.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry to get you off track.
No.
But it definitely sounds like I need it as a PSA to let you know that
There are better options out there.
they address some of the issues that you're having in re-releases.
Well, and the only other thing I really had was I was not a fan of the Mode 7 thing. I think it just
Well,
it was
it's
jarring.
awful in Chocobo. Yeah, here's a game. You're only going to play it this one perspective, except for this shortcut you want to take so you don't get battles. But now everything's going to look weird. You're running on a marble. And
It was jarring to
dumb.
me. I did not expect it. And at first I was like, oh, okay, neat. And then I was like, this kind of sucks. And I think it would have been more effective to just show you running around in the overworld on a chocobo, but not hitting encounters. Would have made more sense to me than trying to translate the landscape now that's in 3D, quote unquote.
Sure.
And you're too close to it. You keep
Right.
that perspective in
It's-
your
yeah,
airship, but
it's-
it's doable in an airship.
Right.
The Chocobo is...
I don't know, man. Like when I got like on this playthrough, when I got the Falcon, and I mean it was like, whoa, slow down, because it was like I forgot that like, look, if the Falcon's not faster than the Blackjack, then
should. I mean,
according
according to Daryl, it is. But
and according to the way it feels, it's like holy shit. I got
no wonder she's dead. I'd wreck this on a mountain too.
I mean, it feels so much faster, but it's like to the point where it's like, can we move the camera up like a mile so that it like, because like I'm zipping around.
It's the
like
fucking air speed bumps. Come on, Doom Gaze, fucking do your job.
yeah, Doomgaze is like the traffic cop of the skies.
Something I had random encounters. Another thing I'm hoping you'll tell me, oh, that's different in the Pixel remaster. There's too much shit in your party you can't control. And I fucking hate that.
Like what?
So like
Well,
I
yeah.
love Mog. Love Mog. You use his special ability as dance. So based on he's a geomancer essentially. Based on the background that you're in, the biome, he has different abilities. So if you do one battle in a grassland, he'll learn like the Sun Sonata. So in battle, you can pick Sun Sonata. If you're in that background, 100% success. But if you go in a cave, cast Sun Sonata, it's a smaller chance it might work. Well, if it works, the background changes and he has like 3 or 4 different abilities based on that dance. But they're fucking random. You can't suddenly choose to fight with him. You can't use an item. You can't cast a magic spell for the rest of that battle. He's fucking berserked, and he's only going to dance and use 1 of 4 random abilities. I think it's fucking garbage. The only dance that randomized that is worth a damn is the Water Rondo, and that's
Missable.
missable. Yeah, I've heard like in one of the another edition
the
you can get
GBA,
it.
you can
get it again, but there's only one weird ass way to get it. And it's one I always missed for many, many years. Umaro, which, okay, he's a secret character. I could give that one a pass, but I'm never gonna fucking use him because he's constant berserk. He can't use items. He can't use skills. He's a Sasquatch that just hits shit. He hits it really
Sorry,
hard.
so he's a Yeti.
Yeti,
Please.
thank you. You're right. He is snow themed. He is a Yeti. You're correct. She's the fucking wicked wicked witch of the east, man. And then same for Gao, however you know. I always said Guao. Pretty sure that's not it, but
Could be.
But whenever he uses his blue mage ability, nope, he's uncontrollable for the rest of the fight, and you don't know what move he's going to use.
Yeah.
So it makes me not want to use all of these cool characters I would like otherwise. I want them to be a different way to use it.
But they're not that way.
They're not. I wish it was.
So you get to use the ones that you do like, and people who like the randomness get to use those characters.
I should do a playthrough with just random characters. Mog always has to
See what
dance, Squirrel
happens.
always
Yeah.
has to rage, and Umaro. Just see what happens.
Probably just skate through it.
I've been tempted to go through with God, what dungeon was it? It was the Floating Continent. I was tempted to go through with Mog and Gao. And just dance and rage the entire way, which is tough because you get to choose.
Which is gonna go through life anyway.
You get to choose 3 characters, so 2 of those would be 100%. Well, not 100% randomized. You have a little bit of control. Once you select the thing, it's out of your control. They don't change that in the Pixel remaster, which I think is for the better because I think that would fundamentally change not just the characters but the game. I mean, all of a sudden it's like, if I can go through and choose the best rage, and then from that rage, always use the most powerful ability.
Templar, fire two. Instead of
So I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm cool with the way it is, but they do. I feel like they do make a good change with Cyan.
Yeah.
And please correct me if I'm wrong. It has been a minute since I played the SNES original, but Cyan's abilities, you select his ability, and there's a gauge
Sword tech.
that fills up. I couldn't remember what it was called.
Yep. I think it's Bushido.
It's Bushido,
and all the other, but
yeah.
sword tech.
Yeah.
I ain't no one in America gonna know what Bushido is. Call it sword techniques.
So that gauge fills up, and then you choose when to stop it.
Yep.
So, which sucks because you have to sit there and wait for the gauge to fill up. You can't command other characters while this is happening. Everybody stands and waits while Cyan channels his energy into his sword for a long time.
Mississippi. 2 Mississippi. It's a good 5 to 6
It
seconds.
fills up so fucking slow.
Yeah.
So
and
fucking
nothing
slow.
changes it. You can't haste him and it speeds
No.
up. Like, nope.
No. But in the Pixel remaster, what you do is when it's Cyan's turn, you choose the sword tech, the Bushido that you want him to use, and then it's like, cool, locked in, next character. And then he doesn't do it immediately. Like if it's like a 4th level sword tech, there's still some time. To me, it seems to happen a lot faster than waiting on that gauge, but maybe it's a watch pot never boils kind of scenario.
That still makes more sense than how they did it.
The rest of your party can like all of a sudden,
And they don't even stagger it out very well. Like if you're not very leveled up when you get him, you might only have the first 3.
right.
And you level up and you'll get 4. And then that's it until like the end of the game when you get 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah.
And they kind of suck.
Yeah.
8's good,
Yep.
but it's not going to work on a boss because
And-
it's instant death.
And by that time,
You may as well just
your
cast
party's got
Ultima in a
Ultima
random
magic,
battle,
yeah.
and instead of sitting there and waiting 30 seconds for maybe it'll kill them all.
yeah, the changes that they've made to Cyan in that regard are very nice, but still he's like a lower tier character, like for sure. And I guess the same argument that I lobbed that they shouldn't change it because people who want to play it that way can play it that way could be used against me. But I mean, come on, like Cyan's like he is in the Super Nintendo version the worst character in the game. I feel like he's the bottom because no one can act when he's staring at his sword.
Yeah.
for 8 seconds.
He has some of the more powerful swords in the game. So if you can get G-Glove and offering him, and he's pretty good. You know, get a Sky
Sure.
Render and an Atma weapon, and he can wreck shit. But you gotta wait till the end of the game. You gotta tool him a certain, because the Sky Render is what you get from one of the statues. Like
Sure. Right. And again, my argument there would be, I got Ultima.
Yep.
I mean, we can just cast that a bunch of times, and kill anything in this game.
Yep.
Get to learn Ultima as soon as you can.
Apparently.
I like it that you could turn that off in Worlds Collide in the randomizer.
Oh,
So
really?
you just turn
I
Ultima
didn't
off.
notice that.
We're not gonna fuck with Ultima.
not
That's
doing
not even
Ultima.
fun.
Yeah.
You're not gonna gym box economizer, double Ultima your way through the whole game.
Yeah.
So yeah. I like Worlds Collide in that if you're trying to beat it pretty quickly, which I see most people do, like
Yeah.
you get Umaro, he's actually pretty good.
He's awesome.
He's way stronger, and then you can mess with his equipment a little bit. So he's actually a good get.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I love Final Fantasy IV. Kain be one of my favorite characters in all of Final Fantasies. Love Dragoons, love the jump ability. You can sort of get it in 6. You get the Dragoon boots.
The Dragon Horn.
And you get a Dragon Horn, which in the normal game suck. In the randomizer, pretty fucking good.
I wouldn't say it sucks.
Well,
I mean, you put...
I might have not given it a good chance because I probably did it, and then it was just like, that's half the damage of a regular attack, and I had to wait 2 turns. So, but you probably, if you have the Dragon Horn, so you're jumping multiple times.
The Dragon
and doing
Horn's
damage.
automatic double.
Yeah.
So, and then it's like there's a smaller percentage that'll be a triple jump, and then like an even smaller chance. You can get up to 4 jumps from 1.
Okay.
But yeah, there is no like it is. I feel like it's a shame that there's not a character in the game that has the jump ability. Like, here's your Dragoon. Like, I do
Yep.
feel like that's a shame. But I also feel like they were kind of like,
I think in the randomizer, you can actually have it and then just have 2 Dragon Horns on that character.
oh wow,
Because you can. I think anything that could fill that special slot,
Is
you can
an
have in the
option.
randomizer. So Bannon's health, Leo's shock, jump. Yeah, anything can be in that
Cool.
slot.
yeah. I've done Worlds Collide like once. So it's like and that was a long time ago. And I don't really remember all the different options, but I mean, there were a lot of options. Like, I mean, that like got really granular in like what you could do. I think that's really, really neat.
Oh, it's great. I want to stream that. Watching that made me be like, all right, I'm gonna get stuff and stream.
Yeah.
This is so good. I'm ready for it. And then I watched a speed run of 6, going through the world of ruin. So they never expect Bannon to get on a chocobo. So that is not a sprite that's programmed in the game. You can do it. One I thought was really interesting. I had no idea, and it's also really good in Worlds Collide. So if you get an ice shield, fire shield, ice rod, anything like that, you get those pretty early on in the game.
Yeah.
You can use them as one-time use items to do the 2nd tier level of that spell at a fixed rate and a fixed amount of damage, which is in the early game and in Worlds Collide, fucking huge. You can get like an ice shield pretty early on. And what I think is, I've got it in my notes, is when I feel like the game really hits its stride is whenever the party splits up into three different directions. And
That's early.
yeah. I feel like the game was good. Once I hit that point, I was like, this is fucking awesome as a kid. Like,
It's
so I look back,
it's different.
It's totally different. You're seeing 3 different chapters with
Yeah.
all these different characters who then pick up more characters to
Yep.
have more stories. So I feel like that is the point in the game where, in my notes, like, where does it hit its stride for you? Where does it hook you? That is the point.
I agree with that.
hooks me.
Although I will say that, like, I feel like one of those stories is way better than the other 2.
Yep.
And it's because I mean, like, one of those stories is really exciting because like Sabin meets like Cyan and Shadow, and all this stuff is like infiltrating the Empire. It's like directly like this, like most action packed. And then you got Terra.
Take a train on the land through the dead. Come on, let's
Right?
fucking do it.
I mean, it's just wild. And then
Locke, all right, everyone's trying to kill you in Figaro. Let's see you sneak through and steal a bunch of shit.
and then meanwhile, Terra just gets to where she was going. I mean,
It does. We're on a raft or in a cave. Watch out. Tag the light. Okay. Well, that one's over.
I guess we're here. Yeah.
We'll wait for everyone else.
It does feel a little silly. Like
Don't let Bannon die. He sucks. But don't let him die.
they feel like they could have just wrapped that raft trip up and then had the two different scenarios. But whatever. I mean,
But you can, because you can get there's an ice shield or an ice rod or something. You can find one in an area you shouldn't be able to get to quite yet. But if you know where you're going, you can do it. So you can skip getting Celeste and go right to the tunnel armor. If you use the ice shield, the ice rod or whatever, kills tunnel armor. The game freaks the fuck out because
You're supposed to have Celeste.
Supposed to have Celeste. So the game does what it is programmed to do and throws a Moogle in. So Celeste becomes Kumama the Moogle for a good 40% of the game.
but the coding with the Moogles is like super weird because at the end of World of Balance, you get one of the Moogles' equipment from the very beginning of the game, and when they help you in Narsh.
Yep.
And it's just it just does this.
Always loved in that scenario when the Moogles help you, Mog is one of those Moogles. He's in the third party you might not get to. He's also the strongest Moogle
He's
of
fucking
all of them.
badass.
But
you take his equipment.
You can only modify characters' equipment, so you can go through and unequip him and have his much better gear
Yeah.
and put on Edgar because Edgar can use spears.
Right.
Okay.
So all this talk, I want to say one of my bad things in that this game is buggy as fucking hell, which is kind of also a pro, but I mean, really, honestly, if you're looking at it objectively, I mean, it is just what the fuck, man? Because there's a bunch of shit in here that's just everything seems fine on the surface kind of deal, and everything works, but then it's when you read up on all of the bugs in this game, and there was a notorious bug that we all knew about in middle school, and that's the vanish sketch bug.
Yep.
Which is just want to kill anything in the game immediately.
And that's also how speedrunners will skip to the end of the game because you can. So the engulf ability is actually a status ailment. Only one creature can give it to you, but there's a way to sort of induce the ability through sketch. And the game sees when you get the engulf status, it thinks, oh, you should actually be at the end of the game where that happens. So it moves you there. So you go from as soon as you get Realm to Triangle Island in the world of Ruin. But I think I didn't even write down a third bad thing. I was too mad about all the uncontrollable characters. But I would guess maybe some of the weird glitches then. That can be very game breaking.
I mean, that's
some stuff is disappointing. I think summons are disappointing.
I've never soft locked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not I feel all the bugs aren't game breaking. They're just ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're just absolutely crazy what you can do.
Because what is it at the very beginning of the game? If you save at the beginning of the game and don't save again until you get to the floating continent. Die at the floating continent and start over, you will start back when you're just Locke and Terra, but the airship is there for some reason.
Right.
And you can get on it and just do absolutely program breaking shit because it's not supposed to happen in this scenario yet. So you go to Zozo and it fills in the dialogue and it's just 6 Moogles. But Celeste, whenever you do that with Celeste, she becomes Kumama, but she has just fight an item. She's completely useless. And then when you get her back, I forget at what point in the game, it forces her into your party, but her palette's all fucked up. And it makes all the other characters' palettes fucked up.
Man, I love Celeste. It took this. I've never had an issue with Celeste, but it's definitely taken this playthrough to be oh yeah, Runic rules.
Yep.
And there are fights where I don't know how I got through them in middle school because I didn't like using Celeste, and it was just one of the fights against Kefka. It's how the fuck did I get through? Did I just level up to 50 in the World of Balance and then fight him? And the answer is probably yes.
You can own Kefka in that snowfield.
Oh, dude.
Just with Runic.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. I mean, that's just one of those where it's I don't know, man, this game just, every time I go to it, I get something different and new back from it.
Because what I have, like the split up is when the game, boom, hooks you. I think the high point of enjoyment for me in the world of balance is definitely the opera house.
Yeah.
Like that's
Oh,
where
man.
that's where I love. That's my favorite part. But I feel like, yeah, I mean, we talk about the opera house, like, and I heard
Yes.
in the Pixel remake,
That's why I'm not sure how
it's better.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you would feel about it, just because I know it's like really it's real.
I
important
saw
to
it
you.
when I was doing some research.
Oh,
I thought,
okay.
okay, that looks good.
Yeah, man. I think they do a really good job, because like in the Super Nintendo version, like all the opera singing is, I mean, they're trying to make
It's Latin. It's real Latin.
It's Latin. That's why you don't understand it. That's why everyone sounds like that. That's why everyone sounds like Charlie Brown's
Oh man,
teacher
God, I wish I spoke
in
Latin.
an opium den. But in the Pixel remaster, they vocalize the
Okay.
lyrics, and I don't feel like it's jarring. Like I feel like they do it in a way where it's like,
Did you pick the wrong verses on purpose to see what the fuck up looked like?
no, I didn't. I should have though. I didn't even think of it.
I will do. I'll do that.
But I mean, and it's all done in this like Octopath Traveler style, where it's like the stage looks like a 3D pixel stage that like moves and has like the lighting and stuff that Octopath Traveler had, which I think is like the best part in the game to do that, because it's like this is a play. It's not supposed to look real. It's not supposed to look like
Yeah.
the rest of the game, but ironically it's 3D. So I mean, I loved it. I loved what they did with the Opera House in the Pixel remaster.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what you think about it when you get
No,
there.
I'm excited for it. And then I think, of course, the climax to the whole game, speaking from just literary terminology, the highest point of interest where everything happens is, of course, the end of the world of balance in the floating continent. So everything is leading up until everything that happens in the floating continent, and then once shit that happens there, then you're just dealing with the effects for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think all the big hard hitting shit that's gonna hook you and build up for how fucking devastating the World of Ruin is,
Yep.
is everything in the World of Balance.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, God, I know we're going to talk about it. I said this a million times. I know we're going to talk about the World of Ruin next episode. But going from like the World of Balance with like Terra's theme is like the overworld to like the first time you go to the overworld in the World of Ruin, and it's fucking silence for like 5 seconds, and then like
Just
organ
wind.
dirge.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit.
Yep.
Like,
The ocean is red.
yeah, man, it's like great effect.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I you talking about the floating continent. I love the dungeons in this game. I love them. They're so unique. Like, not all of them are super unique, but I mean, like, the floating continent is like they had to have taken inspiration from Akira, because it's just like bio,
it's alive,
yeah,
skin
and
and
it's
flesh
and it's like you'll like as you move, passages in the flesh kind of open up for you to go through. I mean, it is like I had never seen anything like that before. And then
What's in this ball over here, man? Oh, it's a giant that punches me in the throat 10 times and kills me. Okay.
well, there's also like Zozo. It's a city. It's also a dungeon.
Oh, yes.
So it's like, man, this is so great, because I mean, I don't know. It felt like they were really trying to design interesting dungeons in this game, as opposed to it being, well, you're underground. This dungeon is different because it is not red. As you can see, it is clearly gray. So they don't do that. And it's like me, a little art boy, who's like, I need this. I need this visual stimulation.
Well, there's Daryl's tomb, too.
I know.
Not to hit on the World of Ruin again too
I
much,
know.
but Daryl's tomb is completely
It's
different.
Absolutely. But they managed to take a dungeon that is underground, but like give it a completely different spin. And I feel like I really appreciate the effort that was put into the dungeon design in this game.
Another super high point, not my favorite high point, not the climax of the game, not where it hooks me, but I have to mention the Magitech Factory.
Yeah.
Love the Magitech Factory.
yeah.
The best, I think one of the best music
Devil's
in the
Lab.
game.
Yeah.
The airship is so well done. Like, it's such a relief to get it and realize how much it opens up for
Yep.
you, and then how all your parties in there in the different rooms, how cool the blackjack is, because it's a casino. It's a casino in the sky.
In the sky, yep.
So I wish you could play some of it, because I mean, Setzer has workers there. I wish you could go and play a game or a slot or something like that. You know,
That'd be nice. I'm almost kind of glad that you can, just because I don't know. I could definitely see this game turning into like 1,000 hours of playing blackjack.
see, but I would like it to be rigged though, so Setzer ends up like, if you were to lose a lot, when you put Setzer back in your party, he has better equipment.
I think that would be
Because
funny.
Setzer's not good.
No.
Setzer is, they changed. I remember I watched a big thing on YouTube about Setzer, how they changed from the English to Japanese. They changed one line of his dialogue, and it completely changes his character to whether in the Japanese version, like, you feel like, oh, he's a shit bag who just, he has money, he has what you need, but he's out for him. You just happen to be convenient. To, you know, the plucky sort of, you know, no one's gonna tell me what to do guy that he is in the American version.
He's definitely a free spirit.
Yeah.
Like I would, but also at this, like, playing through this time and being 40 and being like, oh, I can identify a sexual predator, and he is one. Because he's like, I'll give you the airship if you marry me.
I just said I wasn't the girl you thought I was.
I don't
Are
care.
you sure? I'm an empire twisted magic monster. Are you sure?
I know you're not the woman that I love, but you look like her, so you're close enough. That's Setzer's energy. and I know people be
Any
like,
hole do.
Right?
I'm Setzer Gabbiani.
and I know people be like, well, wait a minute, Edgar. But I'll say Edgar has a good heart. He flirts,
Yeah.
but he hasn't married that little girl yet.
Oh, I love the Magicite system. It's always so, it's thrilling to get a new piece of Magicite. Like,
It
what the
is.
fuck does it do? You know?
It is. I feel like this is going to sound ridiculous, but I do wish there was more.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I feel like you get a big...
I mean, there's way more materia. I wish it was, the combinations and how much it was, I wish it was more like materia in that sense.
Sure. But I agree. It is nice to get new ones. And I was really sad to see that the 4 new Magicite that was added in the GBA version is not in the Pixel remaster.
Oh, I didn't know there were 4 new
I
ones.
didn't either until I was like, I read something about a Gilgamesh Esper, and I was like, oh, a Gilgamesh Esper? I'm like furiously typing at my keyboard. I'm like, oh, it's a thing in the GBA version? Along with Cactar, which is like, okay, whatever. You just throw a mascot character. But I mean, Gilgamesh is too. I'm just...
Yeah. Is Fat Chocobo a Magicite?
No, although that would have been a good one.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the other 2 were, but I remember playing this game. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I distinctly remember there being an Esper named Jihad, or an Esper that used an ability called Jihad.
Oh, probably, yes. You're probably right.
That might have been Palador. I can't remember, but like, there was one where it's like, because I remember learning that word later in life and being like, from Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah. Does the Taliban like Bismarck?
It's weird.
I love the large scale battles when you divide your party up into 3 different pieces to try and navigate, like the snowfield when you're fighting Kefka. Is that the only one in the World of Balance?
No,
Because I know Phoenix Cave and Into the Game.
you do it, you do it when you're trying to save Terra with the Mughals. And then
Oh.
you're doing that.
Yeah.
there too.
Okay. Yeah, those are the
Those are, I guess, the only 2 in the
Yeah.
in the first one.
Yep.
The
So those
first
pick up more later in the game, but that battle in the snowfield is still different and cool. Like, man, what am I gonna? It answers the question, what am I gonna do with all these fucking characters? And then it gives you something to do.
Yeah.
And then the great frustrating enigma in the World of Balance that is Shadow. because you meet him in South Figaro. Did you meet Shadow in South Figaro?
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Yeah, because he's a character you
Can't do anything with.
Yeah, you name him.
Yeah, it gets you the option to name him like the others, but nothing.
So it sets up that mystery there. How do I get this guy? Is he evil? Everyone's saying he would slit his mama's throat for a nickel.
Yeah.
So, and
What's a nickel? Excuse me.
you have gold pieces and the much rarer nickel.
Ooh.
Damn, I never thought about that, but you are right.
Yeah, that used to. As much as I love that line, it used to bug me because I thought about it a lot. Or it's like, man, this guy is a real fucking monster, huh? Well, how do they know what a nickel is? Who's on their nickel?
No, I'm saying he values his mother so much. A nickel is incredibly rare.
Yeah, it's an element. And you know how much I love elemental crystals. That's probably what they mean. My 12-year-old brain trying to justify one line of poorly thought out Woosley-isms in a video game.
But of course, then you find him when you split into the three parties. Sabin finds him and he's like, okay, well, I'll show you where this is. If you fight too many battles, he'll run away. Like you have a random.
I think it's
set
randomized.
amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, but once he's on the train with you, he can't run off
He's
the train.
stuck,
I'm glad
right.
they changed that because it would have been a very easy program oversight to let him just jump off the train.
To just
He's
leave.
gone.
Yeah, that would suck.
But once he's on the train, you have him. So once you recruit him as Sabin, try not to fight any battles, and then you get to keep him for longer, and then he leaves you again. You can find him in a city called Cohillington, and you can hire him for he's super expensive, but you only have him again for a randomly set amount of battles. I remember as a kid, I went through and I saw him, and I was like, holy shit, it's
He's
Shadow.
back.
I fucking love Shadow. Awesome.
Yeah, he's got a cool dog
Yeah, he's bad. He can throw stuff.
He's got a lot of
nothing's
nickels.
very good, but
and a negative amount of moms.
it's like Shadow's like, oh, I'll come along with you for 10,000 gold pieces. It's like, fuck. Well, all right. I mean, I want him to join me, so I'll give him 10,000 gold pieces. I go out. I get in 2 random battles. He goes, all right, well, my due is paid, and runs away again.
Hope you saved.
And then, yeah. Then he's back in Cohillington. You can go back and talk to him. I'll join you for 10,000 gold pieces. It's like, motherfucker. And then, of course, you never really have him. You don't know how long you'll get him. You see him occasionally.
Yeah.
And then
He's the Boba Fett of Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah. But then shit changes depending on he's the someone you can not get. He's like the one character you can absolutely past point of return. You can lose him and never get him back.
Yep.
So depending on what you do at that climax of the game,
Yeah.
which I didn't do many, many times, I had no idea.
Oh,
and
man.
then changes things for him in the World of Ruin.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I don't know. Shadow, I feel like, is one of those characters where it is anyone could easily play this game and just assume, like what I said, that he's the Boba Fett of Final Fantasy VI, which in a certain regard he is. He's this mysterious badass, lone wolf kind of guy, but it's also one of those, and this goes back to the secrets. I mean, if you can pick up on dialogue and piece things together, and realize who he really is, kind of deal, and how he connects.
Or buys equipment, you
Yeah.
know, because the
Yep.
memento ring is like,
memento ring.
why can he equip this thing that only Realm can equip?
Sure. Yep. Why does Interceptor stay in the Mesa?
Mm-hmm.
All that kind of stuff. Why does Interceptor take really well to Realm and no one else?
I guess we'll have to put him in our party and sleep at an inn randomly 400 times to
Yeah.
figure this
Oh
out.
boy, I remember sleeping so many times. So and I never knew how many of those vignettes there were.
Square wouldn't say for 20 years how many there were.
So yeah, and that kind of goes back to the secrets thing, where it's like you can piece together, you can see all like shadows past by sleeping in inns.
Who would have thought
know.
that was the case?
I know. I think it's really cool. They tell a lot of the story. Sometimes you play as character NPCs. You play as General Leo for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being in middle school and being told you can get General Leo in your party. and
mean-
desperately searching GeoCities to find a way to get him permanently in my party.
Not knowing what Photoshop was and seeing Cecil from 4 in your party, be like, how the fuck do you get Cecil? It has to do with the Paladin shield. That makes sense.
Crusader was in the Japanese version. Crusader was jihad.
Okay.
So at some point, I got some wires crossed.
Okay. Well, I guess that also sort of makes sense. Let's see.
We haven't mentioned Ultros. Some reoccurring villain
What
Ultros.
a great reoccur. That's silly and ridiculous,
I love
but for some reason
Ultros.
it's fun.
I love him so much.
Doesn't make any sense.
Uncle
why he's
Ulti.
there, what he does. But
Yeah, I feel like the reason.
we are boring Ian to hell.
No, I'm
Yes.
just listening.
Sorry, bud.
You lost me about 30 minutes ago. We're good. Just do your thing.
Ultros works so well because, and I think he's so well liked because you need comic relief in a game this bleak because Final
Yeah.
Fantasy VI is bleak as fuck, and it's like so these like light moments where it's like, oh man, that cartoon octopus is gonna push a big old weight on
A
top.
1-ton weight that's suspended on just a piece of metal in the rafters.
You need moments like that. You really do, where it's like, yeah, my entire kingdom got poisoned by the Emperor's lapdog. I mean, it's like, that's some heavy shit.
You watch every one of them die one by one.
Yeah, you remember how you went, room to room looking for survivors? Remember when the game made you do that? And one room is so bad that Cyan just comes out and shakes his head? Remember that? Well, here's a cartoon octopus. He's going to push a weight on a guy. We're going to make up for that. Remember the cartoon koala bear with bat wings on the cover? Just remember him. Just think about him.
He's super cute. Oh, by the way, they all die but him. They're basically extinct now.
And then he almost dies.
Yep. Yeah, you get to pick him or an item, then he falls off a cliff.
So, yeah.
So, top 100, bottom 100.
That's top 3 for me. Top 2 for me.
Yeah.
On the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, definitely a top 5 Super Nintendo game for me, hands down. No.
I could talk about this for 4 hours. Like
Yep.
we could keep going.
Yep. I feel like our other episodes didn't really give it justice.
I don't even remember what they were like.
I think they were sort of our shitty walkthrough
Were
style.
they? We hadn't gotten past that
hadn't
point
really
yet.
talked, and it was
I mean, there's so many moments that there's just too much to talk about. I'm glad that you touched on the Phantom Train, and like that goes back to like
such a
what a cool dungeon.
Yep.
It's a train
You're running
that
through a
ferries
train.
souls from life to death, and it's like and you meet ghosts that will join your party. I don't know, man.
Yep.
Cool. It's just there's a lot of cool, weird stuff in this game.
Where's the ghost train in the World of Ruin? I don't know. Everywhere.
We never left the ghost train, Tyler.
Don't you remember? We never got off. I wish there was more Magitech in this game. For being such a strong story point, you don't deal with it very much at all.
That is true.
There are 3 points in the game where you can operate Magitech armor.
Yep.
You know, and it's the art. It's the standard. Like every Final Fantasy has its insignia for what it represents.
Sure.
And Final Fantasy VI's insignia art is Terra on Magitech armor.
Right.
But
I can see why they decided to use that, though, because, I mean, it's like...
it's unique.
Yeah.
It sets the steampunky magic tone to it.
and also where the Empire got the capabilities of making Magitech essentially sets the world course in the way that it goes.
Yeah.
You know, by, murdering espers in order to get it. Man, God, I love this game so much.
I guess I wish
Oh my God.
I wish there was a more Magitech specific character. Out of all these, I wish there was one whose ability was Magitech.
I feel like maybe that's like Edgar kind of gets there because he's a machinist.
Yeah.
And like he uses tools like the auto crossbow and the bio
using the
blaster and
again.
stuff like that. But yeah, I agree. It would be cool if
Using the bio blaster for the first time in the Super Nintendo version,
losing it.
using it.
Oh, using
that
it.
It was like you just get that weird toxic sound effect of the green gas.
Yeah.
I played through the Pixel remake, and I get it, but it looks like it's just dirty farts that you just spray. You don't have the same type music, and it's just like brown. That was so far. I was like, oh. Everything else looks really cool so far. I like the music and the saxophone, but
I mean, I like the music and the saxophone. Put that on the box.
There's very saxy.
There's
Pixel remake.
There's bound to be stuff that you're not gonna like in it for sure. I mean, like anytime anyone toys with something that's like really super near and dear to you, I think you're gonna find
It's a weird
stuff.
thing for me to be like, oh, but I just remember that being so young and hitting that and being like, that's the first time I've seen anything remotely like that in a video game. And the weird sound effect just always like hit with
I get
me.
it. No, I get it. I totally get it. But I do think that like I was surprised by how much I loved like the Pixel remaster and like even just hearing the battle music for the first time. I mean, it was like it does what a remaster should do, where it's like we want to make you feel like you felt the first time you played this game. But we're not going to do it in the same exact way.
Yeah.
And that's what it, like, when I heard that battle music, it was like, holy shit. That was honestly the moment where it's like, I'm finishing this.
Yep.
I'm finishing this game. I want to see everything that they've done. You know, I'm finishing it.
Well, Final Fantasy VII Remake did the same thing, you know, whenever they're showing you the overview of Midgar and everything. And it's just like,
yeah.
It's 1996 again.
Yeah. But they did it in a different way, and I think that's really important. Man, you talking about the BioBlaster sound, iconic. It's Kefka's laugh, and I love Kefka's laugh. It is like up there with like top 10 Super Nintendo sounds. Kefka's laugh is probably number one. I fucking love it because every time he laughs, it's like you said, "Hey, Clementine." Every time my dog just like, she perks up and she's like, where is that coming from and what is it? And like, she's like, she doesn't bark. It like doesn't drive her, you know, to berserk
Kefka laughs
mode.
at an octave only dogs can hear.
Right? But I mean, she is like perfectly fine. Like she like slept through 4th of July fireworks, but like this is honest, hand to God, honest truth. I'm playing this game on the 4th of July. Fireworks are going off. She's sleeping. Kefka laughs, and she like perks up, and she's like tilts her head and like looking at the TV.
That's something trying to hurt you. I'll protect you.
Right? It's wild. But
the tiny explosions, you're fine.
Right.
That's something to hurt you.
That is something I could tell hurt you as a child.
Any other commentary before we move on? Any other points and notes or anything?
Probably. Let's be honest. Probably. Nothing jumps to mind though. Everything will jump to mind when I'm driving home.
Yep. Any achievements?
I have a few.
Go for it.
What it's worth. Where are they? Oh, okay. My first achievement is, hey, have you seen a guy named Nick Papagiorgio? Yes, he took my wallet. He's over there. And to earn that, steal using lock on every one of his turns.
Man. Oh, lock with the steel. God, man. Oh.
And then eventually mug.
I had
love
like
it.
50 tonic at one point.
Dude. Oh,
crazy
man.
amounts.
I have so many fucking like silver spectacles and Hermes sandals. I mean, it is just like, put lock in my party. That dude got mug. I never optimize equipment. I'm always just like highest agility, man. Because it is just like I'm fucking stealing everything, man.
I mean, that's sort of the thing they don't talk about very much, I feel like, in the game, but there's all sorts of really cool shit you can steal, even in the SNES version. Like, you can steal an Atma weapon from the statues and shit like that. That's
Genji
it's like,
gloves
what the
from
fuck?
dragons.
Yeah.
And yeah.
My second achievement is I am the smartest man alive. And to do that, be me and discover optimum in the equipment. was super pumped when I found that. Really,
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I don't have to think. I can just do it.
I mean, like a little gripe, honestly, is like I wish that the optimize was a little more granular, or like you get to a point in the airship where there's a guy who's like, "Want me to unequip everybody in your party?" I wish there was an option to be like, just the relics, keep everything else on them, because what's going to happen is in 5 minutes I'm going to get them back in the party. And I don't have them optimized. I have lock with all the high agility items.
And then my last achievement is sleep that soothes away all our worries, sleep that puts each day to rest, sleep that relieves the weary laborer and heals hurt minds. To get this, you use a sleeping bag at the end of a fight to heal up, and then immediately discover a free inn or bed to use right afterwards,
Yeah.
which happened to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, well, shit, I didn't have to burn that sleeping bag.
Yeah. I feel like that's stuff like that. So I constantly do that.
Yeah.
That's like a rite of passage almost in JRPGs.
Dave, do you have any?
Yeah. I have a couple. The first of which is deal with it. In order to unlock deal with it, mistake the blind status effect for pixel shades, which for the longest time, I thought when someone was blinded in the game that they were wearing shades.
Put on sunglasses.
Right?
Yep.
Nah, it's like oil in their eyes.
It's such a weird, yeah. And in the SNES version, if you're blinded, don't worry about it. It doesn't do anything.
Okay.
It's a glitch.
Yeah, see, that's honestly stuff like that is what bothers me the most with like the bugs in the game, where it's
Or
just like
evade and magic evade.
right,
and-
evade. Oh, that bothers me so much
Yep.
because it's like that would be so cool if it worked
Yep.
the way that they clearly intended it to work, and it doesn't.
Yep.
That's more like heartbreaking to me than the shit where it's like, well, if you manage to get out of here without Celeste, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff's fun. The stuff that's not fun is like, man, it feels like it's not working the way they wanted it to work. Second achievement I got is seems sketchy. In order to unlock seems sketchy, use any kind of bug involving Realm's sketch ability. Probably the most exploited character ability in the game. My last achievement is when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. In order to unlock that, witness the apocalypse.
Whenever I guess it's still the world of balance whenever the lasers are cutting the world in half and you see like the people holding on the edge and dropping into nothing and perishing forever. All the kids running around without their parents and bleak game.
Yeah, pretty bleak. I will also say I don't have an achievement for this, but I'm proud that like,
To be an American.
well, obviously that goes without saying, so I wasn't going to say it. But now that you bring it up, yeah, of course I'm proud to be an American. Come on. Who's not proud to be American? Right? Come on. Come on. Don't make jokes like that about my country. I've been just using items left and right. It's like, fuck it. Fuck it, man.
Nice.
Fuck it. And it's like, you know what? It's been a better experience.
Good for you. I know this about you.
But it's also easier in this game because it's like, I know at no point the game's going to be like, yo, boy, you didn't use that item, did you? You need to give it to this dragon in order to beat the game. It doesn't
Dried
pull that
meat?
shit. Yeah, right. Tyler, do you have any achievements?
I've got 7. So one, I think it's more important for the Pixel remake. Buckets, fuck them. So I know they have a lot more buckets in the Pixel remake that heal you because, like in the tutorial part in Narsh, when you go into that one house, each room will tell you, shows you a monster in a box, and all the elders in there all tell you sort of how to play the game.
Yeah.
There's a bucket that can heal you. Well, in the Pixel remaster, there are more of those buckets in places.
Right.
So you get fuck them buckets. Don't use a bucket for your
Don't
playthrough.
use buckets, but use the buckets. they make the game
Much easier.
so much more approachable.
Like Gara's sand. Have Realm's memento ring protect her from a death effect.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
No big deal. Skip the magic cutscene by just not using magic for a long time and it goes away.
I understood that reference.
God, I love that cutscene. I'm so glad you worked it in as an achievement.
Oh, person of class. Name all the characters their proper name with proper capitalization. Only the first letter and the rest lowercase. It's a meme for a reason. Suplex the ghost train.
You can do. I tested it.
Good.
That one I didn't. I didn't kill it with a Phoenix down because I was
just straight
surprised
fought him.
because I was like, oh, it's dead. Like, I mean, it was like 2 rounds and it was like dunzo.
Yep.
But again, this goes back to like, dude, as much as I love Shadow as a kid, now that I throw shurikens nonstop, and I can't understand why I was never like, oh, I shouldn't throw these things that are cheap as fuck that I can buy anywhere.
Let's see. Make him dirty. Successfully steal 500 times his lock. And then it's a Jason reference. Do an insta kill with the chainsaw.
With the chainsaw.
So, of course, one of the favorite puzzles in the whole game is Zozo. So in Zozo, one character, because there's also a dead body just laying in the middle of Zozo. Somebody tells you,
One of several.
One of several. Like, don't, everyone here lies. Don't believe any of them. So you have to, they give you clues about a clock in the back of Zozo that, like, you have to set it. So basically, all the NPCs you talk to in Zozo tell you the opposite. So by talking to all the NPCs, knowing they're lying to you, you can set the clock at its proper time. When that happens, a wall slides back and you get Edgar's best tool in the game, the chainsaw. So most of the time it'll do a ton of damage, or sometimes he'll put on a Jason mask and auto kill with the chainsaw.
Nice.
Yes.
It's all my achievements.
Nice. I love it. Man, I never remember the time, which honestly,
I could call Josh right now and he would tell me.
I had a lot of fun figuring it out this time.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
because it's one of those where it's like, I was like, man, I'm not going to look this up. I know this information is out there. I'm going to figure this out because I forget it every time. And I don't know, man. It's just so.
I never got it as a kid because I didn't know they were lying.
They
I
were
always
lying.
tried to, I wrote down what they
Yeah.
said and kept
Yeah.
trying it and never could get it.
Yeah. But it was just nice to go through and, like, again, the music being redone really helped because it's like I've got a lot more patience when it's like I can experience this again in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So
I guess we forgot about when you could play Madwin. We talked about NPCs.
Yeah.
So when you play as an Esper at one
Right.
point.
yeah. I mean, it's wild, man. What they let you do, and it's like it's. I don't know. It's not like I'm super versed in JRPGs, but I mean, I struggle to think of like a game where it's like they let you do that, where they like tell the story, where they're not telling the story always from the protagonist's point of view, where it's just kind of like, oh yeah, here's this guy. I mean, Final Fantasy VIII kind of did it with like Laguna and like all that, but I mean, I don't know. I just think it's really neat that they were like, fuck it, man. We're just going to do all kinds of, we're just going to try stuff,
Yeah.
And it makes sense because this was, Sakaguchi wasn't the director of this one. This was like the first one that Ito directed. And it's like they kind of are co-directed and you can tell. I mean, it's like got a different tone. Like this feels like a PlayStation era Final Fantasy game on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
That was mentioned on Discord, the TADPOG Discord as well. Again, I wish I could give you credit, but I don't remember who said it. But I mean, it was one of those where it's like, fuck yeah, you're right. I mean, it feels this feels less like Final Fantasy IV and more like Final Fantasy VII. It just looks like a Super Nintendo game due to graphical limitation.
4 is a fairy tale. 6 is a dystopian novel.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. It's so completely different.
And I mean, it helped me realize that like the period of this series that I love the most is 6, 7, 8, and 9. And I mean, I love 10, don't get me wrong, but I mean, that's kind of right. That's kind of the point. And, voice acting does kind of come into play there because it's like 10. I remember the first time hearing a Final Fantasy character in a game speak, and I was like, like
We're
Danny-
going to the temple in Jose.
Yeah, the Danny DeVito shaking his head. Yeah. Like, I mean, but I mean, it was such a fun game that it was like, I got used to that, you know,
Yeah.
but I don't know. This is like right at the beginning of like, I feel like my favorite era of the series.
No, I'm with you.
Tyler,
I feel like if Flopsy would give this 5 stars, I'm common. That's probably what I think.
I'm looking at the corpse of Flopsy. Do you want to, we could combine the Ouija board and speak to Flopsy through the Ouija board.
That's pretty good. Yes, Dave.
Maybe the demon killed Flopsy. We didn't really think about that.
Oh, shit. That was the
possible.
cause.
We feel like we all got off the hook. Flopsy fucking jumped on that grenade
Saved
for
for
us.
us.
Thanks, Flopsy.
That was our Earthbound teddy bear.
Thank you, Flopsy. Right. Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
how much do you think this game is? If you were to buy it used, how much do you think you would pick up a copy of Final Fantasy III North America?
Now,
Now. Meow. Right meow.
right fucking meow.
$60.
$60. Ian, what do you think? $42 dues. Actual retail value of Final Fantasy III North America for the Super Nintendo, loose on average, according to PriceCharting.com, is $70 less than I would have guessed. $70. Is it worth it? It is to me.
Apparently.
Well, Ian, I could get this for you on original hardware, actually, if you want to play it like that. I forgot my brother's got my copy and a Super Nintendo sitting right on his shelf.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a beard that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of beard would it be?
I would have to give it 2017's Bearded Bunch Sexiest Men Alive. So
Is it a Magic Mike reference?
no, I just looked up. So apparently in 2017, the Sexiest Men Alive, whatever magazine does that, I can't remember that. People did the Bearded Bunch. So a bunch of sexy bearded men.
Oh,
So this game is so good, I'd have to give it the 17 beards
all of
of
them.
Jamie Dornan, Aidan Turner, Robert Pattinson, James McAvoy, Luke Evans, Chris Evans, Mike Coulter, Matt Boomer, Tom Hiddleston, and Joe Hicks.
Okay.
That's a hell of a lot of good beards.
That is a nice lineup. Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you're good at this game, a pair of glasses, it sums up how you feel about it. What kind of glasses would you give it?
I'd have to give it the glasses of Vogue's 13 women who made glasses their beauty signature.
Okay.
Diane Keaton, Barbara...
Wait. Ian and I are going to try to guess them over
Okay.
the course of the next hour.
That's a good quiz. Name 13 women who made glasses their beauty. I could
Tina Fey?
have named 2 of
Is
these.
Tina Fey on there?
Tina Fey is one of them.
I'm on the board.
You guys also love another one I know on this list. Hint, she has little kicks. Little kicks.
Little kicks.
Little kicks.
Like the kids' cereal?
No.
Mom approved?
It's how she dances.
Elaine?
Elaine.
Oh.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, okay. Man, it's weird. When I picture in my mind, she's not wearing glasses.
Me neither.
And over half of these, I had no idea who they were.
All right? lay them on us.
Let's see. Number 1, Diane Keaton. Okay. I
Okay.
can see that.
Yeah.
Barbara Streisand. I don't normally think of her in
I don't
glasses,
think of her in
but
glasses either.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Gloria Steinem, Alice Walker, Tina Fey, Zadie Smith, Frederique Sophie, Linda Rodin, and then, of course, Demi Moore, which, after seeing some weird shit about Demi Moore, like
Weird shit.
how she was 19 and groomed this 15-year-old kid, like there's this weird video of like,
I thought you meant like her gravity magic.
no, shit, what's the
Quarter.
Quarter more.
Yeah. A quarter more.
Where she's like 19 and she keeps making out with this 15-year-old kid who looks like he's an extra on Stranger Things. It's super fucking weird, and you can tell it makes his mom uncomfortable. His mom starts singing happy birthday. She'll stop making out with them in front of this group of people. Like, it's super fucking
Vaguely
weird.
remember that, actually.
Jenna Lyons, Iris Ansel, and Julie Delpy.
Wow, you got me on a bunch of those.
Don't know who
too.
they
I don't
are,
know
but
who a lot of those people
Vogue
are.
says they're good in glasses.
But to be fair, I didn't know who a lot of the men were either.
So I'm with you.
If it weren't for Marvel movies.
You're 100% right. So I had to do a Final Fantasy's big cast, get a big cast of both.
All right, I love it.
Nice.
We know what we're going to talk about next time we do a video game episode.
Final Fantasy VI Part 2, The World of Ruin.
Yep,
Ruin, ruin, ruin.
that's right. And I guess that's it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's close it
We're
out.
definitely running late, so. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on Stitcher, not SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, all over the place. Just Google TADPOG. Not Tadpole, TADPOG. Do you want to send us something? I know we do have a package waiting for us somewhere because some kind of a shipping error. But if you want to send us something, send us to TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. If you want to call us, you can call us at 270-883-2555. Leave us reviews on everything. Tadpog.com /shirts, masks.tadpog.com, shirts.tadpog.com. They're all there. Most importantly is that Patreon. And do you have names
I still
to
pay
read?
for milkross.com, so go there. Type that into a web browser.
Yeah, I do have a list of executive producers. These are the folks that donate $20 or more per month to the cause. And I do need to remind you, this is a legal requirement that you listen to this list. If you do not, you will receive a citation in the mail that will require you to start donating $20 a month or more. I'm going to start this list, as I usually have been for the last few weeks, with Cousin David Galino, Temporal Eternal Savior, Cubicle Monkey, Plinko Nick Price, Executive Producer Dig Dougie, Enthusiast Jeff Miners, Master Cycle Baron Kevin Link, Bantha Master, Gamebug Prime Nathan Eaton, Matt Gentile, a.k.a. Gentle G, congratulations on your marriage, Usurper Grimm, Princess Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Taryn Landon, Pinball Archmage Chris Edler, we're sorry you couldn't be on this episode, Platinum member Brett Miller, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, Nate from Utah, first-time caller, and Sick Jake. Sorry you fell for the marketing bug.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all so much. All of you, not just our executive producers, all of our donors. We really appreciate it. Goes a long way.
I don't think I see anyone new on the donor list. But thank you, everybody who still contributes. We know things are really shitty out there, so we definitely appreciate it.
For sure.
Yep.
So our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive. Link to that check on the show notes at tadpog.com. How you guys want to close it out? Is Kefka laughing?
Yep. Obviously.
We all know that one.
Obviously. Love it.
So until next time, try.
Man, that was hot. that was like a,
Who wants to get in the middle of that?
at least one sexy beer.
Lakake.
Yeah, I don't mind the fair. It's this ungodly hot weather.
I don't know. I kind of mind the fair, but definitely more the hot weather.
The fair's always been my kind of trashy. You know,
It's just, it's not big enough.
It's not.
It's the
They
problem.
really
it's
cram
like
it into
not
that
a
little
fair.
tiny-
It's just like
the older I got, the smaller the fair got. You know, I remember
Sure.
going to that exact fair, probably riding those same exact
Sure,
rides
and it seems
when
so
I was
big.
9 and 10 years
And
old.
I need to remember that because like I've been thinking it's like, man, Henry is like, there's like fucking 3 things to do.
Yeah.
And he's gonna like, I'm gonna pay for the $20 bracelet
Yep.
because it's like, if I don't pay for the $20 bracelet, he's gonna want to ride.
They'll wreck you on tickets.
It doesn't matter I'm fucked either way.
Yeah, you get
so-
wrecked on tickets if you don't. You just bite the bullet.
Exactly.
Buy the bracelet. Yeah.
So I just kind of like,
They know.
They totally know.
yeah. And totally. I've already come to terms with him. I'm gonna buy the bracelet. If he doesn't fucking ride the rides, here's my $20.
Yeah.
You know, at least then I can be like, I tried. Hey, that's my insurance in case you wanted to ride 50 rides. We'll see. because I was like, "Are you excited about the rides?" And enthusiastic, maybe. It's like, okay, because he doesn't know. He's never ridden any of those things
He'll
before.
have a good time.
At
It'll
least
be
there's the
fun
bumper
for
cars.
him, and it'll seem like, oh my God, big and flashy and crazy.
I hope so.
He'll like it.
This TikTok generation, you never know.
You just don't know with these TikTok kids.
You never know. The weirdest things kind of, like the things that I would think would excite him sometimes don't at all. And then,
Yeah.
but also the weirdest things where it's like, I remember him going crazy over like composite video cables. What are these?
Plug them all in.
Oh, there's a red
hole unfilled.
Yeah, there's a red one and a yellow one and a white one.
Cohen,
And it's like, son, that's like really old technology. I mean, but hey,
Cohen is like that. Every single time we get credit card applications, like soliciting
Yeah.
in the mail, and it comes with a fake credit card.
Right.
He fucking has to
Oh,
have
yeah,
it.
of
He
course.
has to have
Totally.
it. He's got like a stack of them.
he passed the kid test.
He did. He's all flashing his credit cards. And,
Pappy, I'm going to have a problem.
yes, he is.
What's the APR on that?
I need to ask him that next time.
Too fucking high is what I said.
What do you mean? Okay, well, you give me all your money. And then next month, I'll ask for more. And you won't have it.
Yep. So then I'll have to ask for even more.
See,
Weird, isn't it? You won't. How are you going to have it then?
here's what happens. I'm gonna give you $10, and next month you got to pay me back $15. And if you can't, then I get to take the rest of your. I get to ruin your credit.
I'm going to take your TV.
And the next time you borrow money, you'll have to pay $20 more.
Yeah, because I'll remember.
Yeah.
and I'll loan it to you.
And I'll
again.
tell all of my friends who also might let you borrow money.